The college basketball experience preview and picks for the first day of the NCAA tournament and all the action on good old Tuesday, March 18th. The play-in games on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our free bracket challenge. Yes, $2,000 winner take all. Enter today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, this is John Sally, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome to the college basketball experience. NCAA tournament, round 1 Thursday, preview picks, as well as a little opening play-in games projections. YouTube.com/the college experience. Even some NIT action. We got you covered here on the college basketball experience. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
He's the kind of guy that would drink a gallon of gasoline so he could piss in your campfire. You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing a pair of bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos.
Oh boy, we got 68 teams, 67, actually 66 that were qualified, but 68 teams going for the championship. And don't forget about the beautiful NIT, the not in tournament. We got a champ coming. Hinkle Fieldhouse, no longer the God. We're gonna get your thoughts on all that. I am joined by my co-host. I know he's gone viral today, and I think he's been on 20 shows, and they've probably circled him being like, "Don't bring this guy back." Give it up for the host of the Ryan and Rush Show and former video coordinator for Hall of Fame coach Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, Ryan McIntyre, aka Moneyline Mac. How are you, brother?
Doing good, man. Yeah, you know, somebody's got to fight the good fight. Got the camo on, and yeah, might be in a little lawsuit for all we know. Cheers, everybody.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
I was like, he's got like a militia look down there. Yeah. He's got the fatigues. He's got everything. And he's
his wife's like, "Are you going hunting today?"
Yeah,
honey? No,
I'm hunting.
Yeah, or yeah, I am.
Yeah, he's going hunting for some Bubba
fucking
hunting.
Cunningham.
Watch your bushes.
Oh man, youtube.com/the college experience. I am joined by the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. Some know him as the Bet Detective, some know him as Scumbagger Vance. Give it up for the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, CJ Sullivan. How are you, brother?
What's up, Colby? Good to see you back in the captain's seat there here in Eagle Rock, California. I know you're a North Carolina shill now. Now you came here from Tobacco Land here.
Your barbecue here is shit. Right?
You thought there was nothing wrong with the bid to the your Tar Heels.
Oh yeah,
today,
put
right?
them in. Help that economy boom. Local sports bar is going to be thriving.
It's all about ratings. It's what they would do, you know, and you got them in there.
Bubba's a good guy. All right, let me tell you.
I don't see what the problem was. He was in the other room. He got the dessert tray ready. You know, he brought in the cakes.
Yeah, not a big problem at all. So we're also joined by the man on the boards. All right, from the host of the college baseball experience, the great Noah Bieniek. How are you, brother?
What's going on, everybody? And welcome to all the team's ears that are in the chat. I'm just going to go scorched earth for a second. They're in Los Angeles, not Las Vegas. Yes, Colby was flying out west. He flew to LA. That's the LA studio, SGPN West. So
SGPN West, yes.
Yeah, I know I know CJ mentioned that they're in Eagle Rock, California. So yeah, welcome everybody that has just tuned into the show. We are growing. Welcome to the brand new audience. And also, I'm very glad that the college basketball crown, or whatever the hell they're calling it, took all of the garbage ass high major teams out of our NIT. And now we've got one of the best NIT tournament fields I think I've ever seen. I am so excited to pick some of these games today.
And don't forget, we will be covering the NIT. We got brackets. This is what we do. Me and the bet detective is sitting over here busting down brackets. The crown is a new thing that we will be covering.
So,
but that's still like a week away.
So
right?
yeah,
That's the one that is going to be ravaged by all the all the injuries that you don't know about, all the guys that have opted out and are already in the transfer portal. All the nonsense is going to be in the crown.
Wow.
The NIT is going to be pretty solid.
Now, this isn't the NIT is going to be very solid.
Yeah,
all
very
these brackets
solid.
are. Now, you see online those scam things. If you fill out a perfect bracket, you get $1 million, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, we haven't cleared this with insurance companies yet, but we're going to be offering so hardly. If you fill out 4 perfect brackets, we're talking
brackets.
sweep the board, NIT, Crown, CBIT, and the big dance one, NCAA.
Might even throw the women's in there.
We
could go 5.
I would love
right?
a lady perfect bracket.
Yeah.
Lady perfect brackets are pretty easy.
That's
just
the
don't
one that might
just
trip
chalk.
up a lot of other people.
Well, just don't pick any upsets. I just go 1 through 8. Bing, 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 bang. Lady faves. Lay the lady chalk. But anyway, $100 million if you can do all 5
$100 million.
brackets.
We're
Perfect.
talking to the insurance company. It's the same insurance company that was covering those wildfires out in LA.
Here we go. Here we go with the politics. Colby, first thing he did, we picked him up from the airport. He goes, take me to the Palisades. I want to tell them how they all voted for this. People are in ruins. House is destroyed. He goes, you voted for this. You deserve this. How did I deserve fire?
You're a crumb creep.
This is him. We're talking to fire victims.
You don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum. Get that on camera. You're a creep.
You're a creep.
People's
Holy
houses
shit.
are in
2
ruins.
soundboards on TC. This is
It's just fantastic.
Yeah, get ready.
Yeah.
Get ready. I'm going to bring some morning nut zaniness in the college experience. Not that you need it.
And we are going to Vegas. All right. This is just the beginning.
Yeah,
all right.
we're
We
going
come
Wednesday.
Came to LA just to see I wanted to see the scene of the crime. All right. Where these homeless people were just lighting, rich neighborhoods on fire.
You mean Mick Cronin's old house?
Someone was on my on the Bottom Line Bombs today in the chat room asking if Noah was going to be in Vegas for his what was your special drink? Whiskey and milk? What was it? Whiskey and milk or something? What the hell were you drinking out there?
You just said
Tangeray and Tang.
Whatever they're having.
It was a very. I haven't drank much before. Screwdrivers. What do you like to hit?
I forget what it was, but it was definitely whatever they're having. It was abstract.
It was underage dude at a frat party drink, whatever it was.
My answer in Vegas is always whatever you're having, just get another.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
All right. 2 whiskey and milks.
Well, I promised them that you're going to be there. Yeah. Bourbon and milk, please.
2%, please.
I will not be doing Vegas out there though.
Well, I told him you're coming, so.
Yeah, it's okay. Well,
fair enough.
We'll order the whiskey milks for you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, Wednesday.
CJ is representing both Mac and I out there in Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
Oh, okay. No Mac?
I have another operation I need to attend to.
That's right. You told me that last time. That's fine. Fair enough.
Operation. He's going to be sitting outside Bubba's house in the bushes.
There's another operation that added to my agenda over these last 48 hours.
Head of the West Virginia militia over there. Head of the West Virginia militia. He's like, Bubba's address is, 127 Farmville Road, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. We're coming there, motherfucker.
Grab the mail on the way down?
What's that?
You want me to grab your mail while I'm down there?
Yeah, please, if you can. I got some outstanding bills that maybe you could pay.
If you need a safe house after you need a flop for a while.
I do have a shed, which
Someone
I still haven't
low.
figured out what to do with. It's just completely empty. I have a shed. You ever had a shed, CJ?
I've been in my uncle's shed before. If that's what you're trying to get at.
I mean, Mac, you could actually build a bomb probably in that shed. So I mean, you know,
Don't tempt me with the good time.
yeah, right. Look, we're gonna dive in first. I mean, I guess I wanted to get your reaction on the second day, the day after. You know, the day after of this tragedy that's hit Morgantown. We've heard from the governor. We've heard from what was the other position? It was like
I love it.
Attorney General,
I
yeah,
love it.
they're just
all.
throwing out names that I'm just like, I got no idea who this is, but they're powerful in the state.
That's all our politicians are doing now. They're trying to get Ohio State games banned from Peacock. They're trying to ban plant flagging. They want the North Carolina thrown in jail. Which God bless them. It's better than that than setting actual laws. These maniacs focus on college sports.
Oh, it is fucking hilarious to see this. Shout out to West Virginia because the fans were so outraged that they took action within like 12 hours.
Yeah.
They had a press conference saying NCAA. What did he call him too? He called him. It wasn't. He had a nickname for the NCAA.
That's what they said. Here's the press conference here live.
You don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum.
Hey, Bubba, you're a real crumb bum.
He is a crumb bum. Bubba crumb bum.
National Corrupt Association. Or
Yeah, national, something like that. So, buddy, how you doing? How's day 2 taking it?
Oh, the sun came up. You know, went to work. It is what it is. It's sad. It was a bad day for the sport. I think we can all fucking agree on that.
Sure.
It wasn't that they didn't. They
Jay Billis doesn't agree with you, but all right.
Can we talk about Jay Billis here? You know, I don't care about the 30 or 35
Why are we
ranked
talking
teams.
about them when we could talk about Duke? We could be talking about Duke right now.
30 or 35. What do you mean? I mean, what do you mean, Jay? Jay, I don't know if you know this,
right.
but you know, there's lots of teams that barely made the tournament before, like UConn in 2014. That they won the fucking tournament.
Also, Jay, you're not at the dinner table. You're on a TV show to talk about this. This is what this is about. Talk about it.
Yeah. If you're a fan of the 30th or 3015, you're just like, okay,
really
this guy just not going to do any shtick for us.
Really not in the mood to talk about West Virginia being snubbed right now. What else is on the docket?
Yeah.
Anyone else have a good day at work?
Xavier Musketeer fans were waiting for Jay to say, well, I think Sean Miller and Xavier, they're healthy now. Fremantle's healthy. They might be able to make a run, but no, he punts on it 30 to 35. Get this bullshit out of here. Oh, man.
Especially when we see a team from the 30 to 35 range, go to at least the Sweet 16 every year, maybe the Elite 8, and hell, even the Final Four. So
twice, right?
Him.
Yeah.
What the hell? What the hell's got every take he has is a bad take. Over like the last couple years, he's gone way downhill. And thank God Fran Fraschilla had some fucking nuts and called him out. I mean, he's like, for you to say that you haven't ever led a program with the coaches, families, players, and basically have something taken from you when you earned the right with your resume, 6 quad 1 wins, and then the biggest slap in the face, of course, was Tucker DeVries wasn't in the lineup. Tucker DeVries wasn't in the lineup since fucking Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They were just throwing a Hail Mary there. Yeah.
At that point, he wasn't prepared to answer that question. He was just deer in the headlights, like, what?
He's like, all right, well, you obviously didn't like my answer last night when I blamed it on Memphis. How about if I say Tucker DeVries injury? Like it was Kenyon Martin getting hurt in the championship game. That happened in Thanksgiving. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, he might as well have said fucking Bob Huggins isn't coach of the team.
Right. Yeah, same logic.
Well, I like the CBS one where they attacked him and he just gave no answer. He just started talking about Memphis. And then the analyst for CBS just took it. Like, great, you know what? Great point.
Yeah, for
Memphis
sure.
did win. They did win yesterday. Mm-hmm. What does that have to do? North Carolina didn't play Memphis. It doesn't help their resume. I'm so fucking confused. Right? But it just classic. Jay Wright goes, good answer.
Yeah, Jay Wright, good answer. What? Good answer? He didn't answer at all.
Oh, him and Bubba are
That was
chums.
great for CBS. That we can move on.
Yeah.
In the script, it says good answer.
Unbelievable stuff. Folks, look, we're going to talk about all the action, the play-in games, then the opening round on Thursday for the NCAA tournament, which will be in Las Vegas, me and the Bet Detective and company. But we're also going to get to the NIT after that because that does tip off tomorrow as well, on-campus games before they go to Hinkle Fieldhouse for the Final Four. But before we do all that, I want to let you know that the College Basketball Experience is part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Compete against SGPN this March in our $75,000 winner take all college basketball survivor contest. Woo! March has never been this exciting. Enter today at splashsports.com/SGPN. That's splashsports.com/SGPN. I went in there today. I got my stuff. Yeah, there we go. You see it right there. Survivor, yes. $25 to win. Look, anybody can win this. That you know that like this is like this is like the classic thing with like
pick one team. That's it.
I mean, dude, like I've seen my mom destroy me. I watched every game all season. My mom just enters a bracket. Fucking just kills it.
Also,
she had George Mason. The year George Mason went,
she had it.
Yeah,
she was all over that.
She had that. She won the whole bracket. But
Mama Dundee. Also, don't be afraid to sign up for Sleeper. I saw Colby sign up for it today, and he only smashed 2 of the 9 TVs we have here in the studio.
I had a hard time with the technology.
Yeah, but
I like to fill out the brackets. I like to fill them out.
Yeah,
they would ask me to fill it out online,
but you can.
But you can. All right. But yeah, jump on over there /sports.com/SGPN. And then we are also brought to you by SeatGeek. Look, we're going to Vegas. We were thinking about maybe, seeing if we got any action with some of these tournaments, some of these events going on in Vegas. Not only college hoops, but concerts. CJ's always been telling me I need to check out Blue Man Group. So he's told me, you seen these guys, Kobe? They're all blue, right? They can do all this crazy shit, right? He keeps telling me
in the face, the blue in the face. I'm telling you.
He keeps telling me, but there really is. You could go see, what's that? Circus Olay?
Yes, yeah. Olay, yeah. Right? Olay, Circus Olay. Yeah, the Beatles. Right.
They got the Beatles thing. They got the Tarak.
They got Tarak.
Yeah, they got a bunch of shit, right? And look, there's always tickets available. And I was checking this stuff because we were heading to Vegas, and by far, to me, SeatGeek has the biggest edge that you cannot find elsewhere. Which is why I want to give them a special shout out besides them, being a sponsor of us. Yeah. I just want to give them an extra little SeatGeek. They just offer better stuff. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. And there are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, festivals, sports, comedy shows. Maybe you want to see the Bet Detective in your town. He's coming. He's coming.
Sure.
All right. So look,
as long as your town is Bakersfield.
There's people in Bakersfield, I think.
There sure
There's
are.
still a few.
Yeah.
Look, SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a 1 to 10 scale, so you're getting a good deal. Look for the green dots. Green means good. Red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And I came through for you guys. Old Dundee did. Getting you 10% off with the promo code SGPN10. You see it up top there, SeatGeek. Promo code SGPN10 for 10% off any tickets. Once again, SGPN10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek, the best in the business at getting tickets. All right.
Good job.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Old Jay Billis just put out a statement, basically retracted everything he said yesterday.
Really? Can we upload that really quick? Bina, can you find that statement?
It's a video. So obviously somebody fucking put him in his place and said, hey, just because it's one of your ACC good old boy clubs doesn't mean you can't just brush it off when you have all this outrage for every other bubble team every year. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking news then. Jay Billis' statement. Jay Billis forced to make a statement.
Yeah. You know what that is? Those West Virginia fans, they got to Jay. Yeah. Jay realized Jay's wife gave him a hard time. Honey, I woke up. There's fucking 50 people outside my house. I checked the emails. We got thousands of emails bombarding us. Guarantee you that's what happened.
The Providence fans or something, they ain't seen nothing yet with these crazy people from the mountains.
Oh, I know. You're on that's what you did all day today. You're on a text chain. All right. West Virginia militia text chain.
I can say a couple other things, but it may get me canceled off this internet. So I'll plead the fifth here.
All right.
Oh, Bubba Cunningham.
Oh,
well,
Bubba.
I'm just wondering. My mind is wondering on where he would be going.
What could you cancel for Bubba?
All right, let's hop into this. We got games. We're gonna go chronologically. Like I said, NIT will be at the back, so not chronologically with the NIT, but chronologically with the NCAA tournament. The big dance, the field of 68, and it starts with the play-in game. St. Francis Alabama State. St. Francis representing the NEC. Alabama State, obviously, SWAC champs. They are doing battle in Dayton, Ohio. The line is 4.5.
I just saw that. I grabbed this at 2.
Yeah, I got it at 3.5. So,
wow.
Yeah. 4.5 makes it a little dicey.
Yeah,
for me.
I like Alabama State. I don't like them at 4 though, or 4.5. That's a lot.
For 4.5. And that's at.
I do think Alabama State wins this game though, but I mean, I'm not willing to lay 4.5 at all. I mean, I did grab it at 2 when it jumped out, but my goodness, that's a lot.
Yeah, I think it's too much. I know.
We strictly using our sponsors sports book here, or are we shopping around?
Well, we should talk about.
Yeah, we probably should agree on things, right?
Yeah, I mean, if let's use a sponsor, but let's shop around, right? Is there better numbers? What number are we talking about here?
Oh, because I'll look is what I'll say. I have our sponsors numbers.
Yeah, they're all our sponsor numbers are all in the slides as well.
All right, let's play the sponsors. I don't want to tell you boys how to do your thing here, but I mean, obviously shop around. Everyone shop around for your best number, but I think we should all agree upon the sponsors number.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to be a crumb creep.
DraftKings is the best sports book out there.
There you go.
At 4.5, I actually think I'm going to Benedict this because it's just too many points now. I think St. Francis with that home crowd, they're going to have that crowd. I know you told me as a Duquesne Duke, you told me the St. Francis bastards, they'll come at you. Right?
No, yeah.
The red flash.
Yeah, they park in the back. They come around the sides. They're
like a 4-hour drive away from Dayton. You're telling me they're not making this trip?
Yeah,
they haven't been to the tournament since what, 91? Come on, they're going. They're going. I'll take the points now at 4.5. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I kind of went back and forth on this. I think it's gone up 2 points. I think that's a little bit of an overreaction. Give me Robbie Krimel's bunch at his alma mater here. It's an experienced group. I'll take the points with the old Red Flash out of the NEC, a league that we love.
Yeah, Bieniek, what are you doing here, buddy?
Yeah, this one has climbed a little higher than I'd like, but I'm still not going to change the side. The cocktail napkin has Alabama State minus 3.5. I like the under in this one. The cocktail napkin's got that at 133. But I still feel like my best read on this game is the SWAC usually does pretty damn good in these first 4 games. They're the more athletic bunch. And in the non-conference, they completely murder a lot of their advanced analytics because they schedule way up.
They're on the road
all
for
these
2
bye
months.
Games. They're cashing checks, but losing by 20 in each game against some of these power teams. And it's the entire conference. So it affects them in conference play as well. And we don't really get a great read of how good some of these SWAC teams are year in and year out. 3-1 is the conference against the spread in the first 4 games. So I will take the Hornets here.
I will say this. I bet this at, I think it was 3.5 or 3, but, so I took Alabama State minus the points. I just think 4.5 is getting a little tricky. It's getting because Alabama State doesn't win by a lot of points, and to me, a lot of
teams.
Like it's just a little tricky at this point. Bet Detective at 4.5. I know you already got the 2.
I mean, I already got the 2, but
sharp is attacked over there.
But Noah convinced me. You can't just you gotta dance with the girl you brought.
Okay, then I'm back. I'm back. If we're gonna do this game, I'm not being the solo guy.
Right.
Lay the 4.5 with Alabama State. The offensive rebounding key 112th in the nation in offensive rebounding. St. Francis 302nd.
Yeah.
And all the other teams' ears that are just tuning into the show for the first time. The cocktail napkin is basically my model, but Colby hates it and wanted to call it the cocktail napkin. What are you reading off of those numbers of a cocktail napkin? And that just stuck. So
yeah,
it's good for
yeah, exactly. Especially some of this hate regarding East Carolina early in the year. All right, best season we've had in.
It was. That's true. That is true.
I'm only busting your balls, buddy. Let's jump to the next game. Remember, Dayton, Ohio, True TV Bet Detective.
Oh, True TV, home of the.
What's that? Where all the comics are on there talking?
Yeah,
What's that
they just shop there.
Yeah, I forget the name of it.
Girl Code. What are they talking about? I'm just joking.
North Carolina is taking on San Diego State, the game everyone's talking about. Carolina's laying 4.5. Dayton, Ohio. I imagine this will be a Carolina crowd. Surprised it hasn't gone up more.
Well, it's crazy. It went from 4 to 4.5, and then it was at 3.5 this morning, and then it jumped right back to 4.5 once that happened.
And Reese Waters is still out for San Diego State. We did get some news. I think John Rothstein was talking about Magoon Wath. He's going to play. That's big news for San Diego State. I think Carolina is going to be the trendy play here. So I don't trust Carolina's ass. I'm getting 4.5 points with the better coach. I know it will be a Carolina crowd, but I was disappointed. If it was the next day, if this was the same day as the Xavier game, it would actually been a San Diego State crowd, but it's not. No one's. I mean, how many people from the St. Francis game will carry over into this game? I don't know. But I'm going to take San Diego State to cover this. I just think Carolina can still win, but 4.5 for a team. I trust the coach. I trust that their defense, they'll have some creative ways to try to shut down their scoring or their scores. So I'm just riding the Aztecs here. Mac, do I even need to ask you?
I mean, do you remember the spot last year when everybody said Virginia and we trashed Virginia getting in, and they're like, oh, they're going to show everybody they're going to beat them.
Happens every year. It happens every year.
And I think that it's become a public narrative that, just because everybody's trashing Carolina for their 1-12 record, that they're going to all of a sudden turn it on. No, they're not going to turn it on because it never was on. I think San Diego State wins the game outright. I think they get that big fella back that adds another rim protector. They were a different team when he was healthy. You're giving me the better coach against non-coaching Hubert Davis. Give me the Aztecs all over.
Against non-coaching Hubert Davis and that sack Bubba Cunningham.
And they got travel issues because their plane was a quad 1 plane. Apparently, they ran into issues. It's a
Bieniek, what are you doing here in Dayton, Ohio? The chat's asking if you're going to this game.
No, I'm not going to this game. And consider me the trend, the guy that doesn't know ball. I'm hopping on the Tar Heels, and I don't think that this is the only game they win in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, this is my first 4 team that I think makes a little bit of a run here. Give me North Carolina. I'll lay the points with them. I think this is more of a high scoring game. Not sure if that suits San Diego State's style of ball. And Hubert Davis does have a national championship appearance to his name, guys. So let's not forget about that.
Well, I don't get man, cold, but they're counting down 7-6-5.
Bieniek saying they're going on a run.
Hubert sucks. He went to my high school. He sucks as a coach.
Wow,
man, takes from all over the place.
You found that out today when you were tracking down Bubba Cunningham. He's like, Hubert Davis from my high school too.
His jersey's in the Raptors. I don't give a shit. He sucks as a coach.
Oh man, good lord.
Bet Detective, we know you got a future on North Carolina.
I think that's the one. Yeah. Well, when we're talking Final Four brackets, I think that's the one region that's going to be open. But and I'm with no. I think Carolina wins a couple of games, and it's not just the narrative of everyone counting against them. Although this time it's pretty loud this time for the team that no one wants in there. Where now they have the NCAA backing them pretty much. I mean, it's pretty wild with that. But I think Carolina was playing their best ball of the year the last 3 weeks, even going into that tournament.
I picked UNC, but they have not beaten anybody in that.
I know they've not beaten anybody, but they played the ones in front of them. They played. I know you can talk about a crippled Duke team that they lost by 1, in a lane violation. You can say
26 at one point in that game.
If you open your mouth about anything else that North Carolina has done in the last week, Mac might virtually slap you across the face.
They showed up to the game, so they're a fucking juggernaut all of a sudden.
I'll say this: San Diego State had a couple games towards the end of the year. We're like, oh, these are the games they win. This is what they do, and they just could not get it done. They are not the same team. The boys game. I am not high on the San Diego State team. I think they are going by. Let's talk about 2 teams going by their name only. Give me North Carolina go on this run. I'll lay the 4.5.
Oh, there we go. We got a battle. Mac, Dundee on the Aztecs. Beat it. Bet Detective on those heels. Is that really loud for you guys?
It's pretty loud.
It's pretty loud on my end.
It was a little loud, a little louder than normal, but
maybe it's your headphones. You can turn it down a bit.
We'll wait for the chat to say anything.
Something's going on. See what happens. I leave the studio. It goes to shit. Goes to shit.
Don't touch it until
studio.
the 350 that are watching live on YouTube right now can say if it's loud or not.
Eric says mega loud. I don't know how to correct this. Let me just turn it down on the iPad. How about that? But they switched all the shit around after I leave. Bet Detective's in here blowing this thing up.
Oh, whoa! Maybe this is a case for the Bet Detective. Is he doing? Is the Bet
Isn't the Bet Detective
Bet Detective? The good people, the governor of West Virginia should call the Bet Detective because you see what they said in their language too. We want to investigate if there was any payments to Bubba Cunningham. You're on the case down there, right?
Oh yeah.
Was he in the room or not?
I speak West Virginia. I speak mountain people. You know what I mean? I know what those dumb hillbillies are talking about, and I know what he means when he's not in the room. What that means, because I know it's impossible to not sway something when you're not in the room directly in today's world. But yeah, I'll get down there. Bet Detective will get down there, and I'll call me a gumshoe. I'll kick some tires around down there. Some tires in the dirt.
Bet Detective's on the case. For more on that, check out the Bottom Line Bob's podcast. Next up, we are jumping over to Wednesday action, a rivalry game. Mount St. Mary's American. I love this game.
I didn't know we were picking the Wednesday first 4 games. I thought we were doing that tomorrow. I like it though.
We're going to pick all the first 4 and all of Thursday in the NCAA tournament. Tomorrow will be Friday.
This is what your show is.
Whatever NIT.
We're doing Tuesday NIT too, right?
You're picking everyone.
No. All right, Tuesday NIT. Yes. I'm sorry, tomorrow. Yeah. Wednesday NIT will be tomorrow.
I asked Colby, are we picking everyone?
We pick them all, damn it.
Bring me everyone. What do you mean everyone?
That's Greg Sankey. That's Greg Sankey after this year. They did this on purpose. So you want West Virginia in the tournament. Let's go to 300 teams. And how many teams you want? Everyone. Let's go.
Sankey didn't have an issue though. He got 14.
Yes, he did.
Didn't get a 16 though. He wanted 16. Look, this game's awesome. Mount St. Mary's, obviously, great season. AU. I can't remember the last time they went dancing. It was a while ago. American laying 2.5. Dayton, Ohio. Obviously, Dwayne Simpkins, the former Maryland Terrapin point guard. Can't believe he won the Patriot League. It's almost like I took a future on it. I'm on American here. Rivalry game. Americans won, I think, 4 or 5 in a row. They've all been a little dicey. I think only one of them was a double-digit win, but they've all been dicey games, just like a rivalry. I think they even do a scrimmage before the season starts. I was reading an article where they scrimmage often, I think most years before the season starts. So they've probably played this year, even though we don't have it on paper. I will take AU -2.5. I think they're slightly the better team. I think it's a great game though here. And I'm excited to see, because I think the under is at play because both these teams not used to the national spotlight. The fact they're at the stadium, they've never been. Obviously, we're on the first half unders for all of our games, but I just think the under in general at 129.5 is appealing. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, this is a fun game. I mean, first-year head coach Donnie Lynn gets it done for the Mount and the MAAC, and then American's been really damn good this year under Dwayne Simpkins. They got a stud up front in Matt Rogers. He's a senior. I think that they're able to control the paint, control the rim. I'll take America and I'll lay the 2.5, and they need to get this on the schedule again every year.
Yeah. I actually think if you're asking me which game will be the best game,
it could be
this one. I think it's this one.
I totally agree. One of my favorite looks in the first 4, actually, like my favorite look in the first 4. I like both 16 seeds, both 16 games. Both 16
better than the
yes. Good Lord, I cannot talk. Cocktail Napkin has it right on the 2.5 number, but to your point, Colby, the under 127. So great look there. I'm going to take my Eagles though. I've loved this team the entire season. They start 4 seniors, and this is a Mount St. Mary's team that kind of had that Wagner run as last year in the NEC, where just they only had a few guys. They were missing 3 important contributors during this tournament run. Give me the Eagles. They operate at one of the slower paces in the country. And Mac already mentioned Matt Rogers. So American -2.5. That's a lot.
I also like over at Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCE SGPN, that Matt Rogers lower than, I think it's 17.5 points.
I like that.
Yeah, you get that, and I'll mention another play that we'll do in a second here. But yeah, that is appealing over at Underdog Fantasy. Bet Detective, I know you love a good rivalry game. Doesn't matter the schools. These aren't. I mean, the distance between these schools is like fucking 10 miles. Or something.
I love it. And you're right. Why aren't they playing every year on the schedule?
Yeah,
why is this not happening?
They should be.
I was on American versus Navy. That was a nice round.
Oh, yeah.
I love this squad.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no other analysis to go to. Let's do it. I mean, this is an absolute. This is going to be a fun game. I agree. But yeah, I'm on American. I'll lay the short number.
There we go. All right. Well, final game on the play-in front. Xavier taking on Texas. This one in Dayton, Ohio. So not only do they give North Carolina love by just putting them in, Xavier. I don't think Xavier belonged in the NCAA tournament, but they're in, and not only they're playing a game 45 minutes away from their campus. Unbelievable. And that is the reason why I think they're favored, and that is the reason why I will lay the 3.5. Xavier's one that I have circled on my bracket as well. I think they could do damage in the NCAA tournament here. Playing a lot better, they're healthier. So give me the X-Men minus 3.5 to take that. This place will be lit for this. I think this will be a good Xavier crowd here. Mac, what are you doing here?
I had Xavier as my most likely team to advance to the second weekend if they got out of Dayton. They are getting way too trendy for me, and I just feel like Sean Miller in a high-pressure game is going to find a way to choke this away. Rodney Terry as an underdog has been really, really damn good this year. I feel like I've taken him countless times. They've won on the road at multiple places. I think the Horns and Trey Johnson get it done. I think they actually stun Xavier here. Give me Texas in a little bit of a foxhole spot on the road here to get another win. SEC over Big East for me.
Paul T mentioning that we need a college baseball show. We have one. So go over there and tune into the college baseball experience. Highly encourage you to do so.
If you're on YouTube, it's on this feed.
Yeah. Just stay here, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be here all the way through the end of June. So
we've been doing it for years. So yeah, check it out, man. A college baseball experience.
For this game, I like Xavier. The Cocktail Napkins got it at 5, but I think there's going to be plenty of points scored in this game. We talk about the under maybe being the look in the first one. The second game might make up for it because I don't know how much defense Texas is playing. And Sean Miller, normally defense is his calling card, but this year's team has not really been the case. And they were playing their better ball to finish the season. And now that they got in, they're playing pretty close to home, like Colby mentioned. I think they win this game, and this is a high-scoring game. So they're over.
There we go. That's the third one there. Shout out to Weehawk saying, great show, the college baseball experiences. They all are. The college football experience as well, and the FCS college football experience. All on this platform, youtube.com/the college experience. But another great show is the Bottom Line Bob's podcast, hosted by this man right here, CJ Sullivan. What are you doing here in Dayton, Ohio?
Oh, man. Well, I took Xavier early. Texas, they're very similar, both these teams, I believe. They're with their season arc. I mean, Texas has been flake, but they showed me a lot in that tournament. They rallied to get themselves in there. They did earn their way in, I believe.
I agree.
Xavier not, but like you said, the key with Xavier is they're healthy now, and they've been playing great. I mean, they obviously the Marquette Big East tournament game was 2-point loss, but they smoked Creighton a couple weeks ago by 20 or something like that. Beat Providence, but who doesn't beat Providence, especially those trolls? The one at Butler. I mean, I don't know. You're right. It's just a regional. I think it's going to be a lot for Texas to get back up after that SEC tournament, and they kind of fought their way in there. Then now to go across here to play their way in. It's tough. I mean, I do like the over more, but I'll go with Xavier.
There we go, Xavier. So 3 of us on Xavier. Mac on the Horns. He's saying hook 'em. Folks, want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Yes, when it comes to college basketball and March Mania, one thing is for sure, nothing is for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, Cinderella's advancing, top seeds going home early. It's all going to happen. Bet the unexpected, every upset, every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. First time? Oh, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use our promo code SGP. Once again, that's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort in Kansas. 21 age plus, varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Yes. Look, if maybe you're new to the college basketball experience, right? But you're going to Vegas or you live in Las Vegas. Well, get this. Rhythm is throwing an epic March Madness party, and you out there listening, watching, whatever, you're invited. All Rhythm users are invited to a First Four watch party this Wednesday, March 19th at the Awesome Stadium Swim inside Circle Las Vegas, downtown Las Vegas. Oh, and it gets better. Rhythm is also giving away a $250 March Madness future for one random lucky Rhythm user. Even if you can't make the party, you can still cash in on the future and win this thing. Should I add in the fact that me, the Bet Detective, and a ton of other SGPN talking heads are going to be out there? You can come out, get yourself a cocktail, free cocktails. What are we doing here? You're gonna have a great time. You can call me a gap-toothed motherfucker. It'll be everything that you want. Look, Rhythm's March Madness stats and success from 2024 were pretty fire. They had UConn winning it all. And look, they had their percentage of winners was 39% higher than the ESPN brackets as a whole. Rhythm predicted the Duquesne Dukes, the Bet Detective's alma mater, that he was on.
Duquesne bring the pain.
Oh yeah, NC State and Oakland upsets. 45% of Rhythm brackets had NC State reaching the Sweet 16. So what are you doing? Free party, free drinks, chance to cash $250 future bet and hang out with us. All when you sign up with Rhythm. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for the details. At sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party. All right, we are back, and Thursday morning. So yeah, the Rhythm of that party. If you're coming out to that party, we're gonna be watching the Xavier Texas game. Well, that's going on. I mean, that's gonna be a blast. But then Thursday morning we wake up, and boy, do we start with the banger. The Creighton Blue Jays. Taking on the Louisville Cardinals. Louisville disrespected with an 8 seed, but they're putting Lexington, Kentucky. You know, Lexington will be lit with Louisville fans. Louisville's laying 2.5. Louisville laying 2.5. The over under at 145.5. Actually, I see it at 144.5. So it's dipped a point in the past hour. Guys, I know we're already saying, people are saying it's bullshit that Auburn is going to have to play Louisville in the second round in Lexington. In Lexington, and Louisville will have the home environment. The only problem is that's not going to happen because Creighton is going to beat Louisville in that lit environment. Cockbrenner's turned a page. He's a beast this year. I'm still a little foo-foo on Louisville. Great season year one, but I'm not buying it. Give me these Jays to go into Lexington and get it done outright. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, we're on the same side here. I'm on the Blue Jays, man. I think they don't have an answer for Kalkbrenner here, and Ashworth and company. They've played in a lot of big games in this NCAA tournament, and I know it's going to be a road game, but they just got done playing on the road at St. John's, at UConn, in the Garden. So I don't think they're going to be intimidated by this environment. And Louisville was okay whenever they stepped out of the ACC. I think they're propped up because the ACC was bad. So give me Creighton here to get this done with this experience and Kalkbrenner. Go Jays.
What, plus 125, 130 on the money line? I don't even need the points. Bieniek, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I have this. I'm just going to retweet a lot of what you guys both said, and I'll go a little bit deeper on the non-con since it's my turn to talk. They were 8-5 in the non-conference. The ACC was so bad this year. Go and look at the trend and the records in their non-conference. But they were able to just kind of walk right through this thing without multiple starters that they lost for the entire year. And I think that's more of a negative towards how bad this conference was this year, that, in year one, Pat Kelsey was able to go 18-2 in the regular season rather than how good this Louisville team is. And sure, I'm more than likely, if this happens and they win and it's home crowd, I'll eat my words. But right now, I think Creighton gets it done.
What do you think this home crowd will be? Because you have Kentucky fans within this city, so I do think there'll be a more Creighton fans than we think. But I'm guessing like what 75-25 Louisville fans. What do you think, Mac?
Yeah, I would say 75-25. Well, because also I know they're not in the same session, but you got the Vols later in the day too. So I don't know who the Vols would root for. Something tells me they won't root for Louisville just because Kentucky and Tennessee can't agree on anything. But yeah, I think there will be some Big Blue Nation that will just go there just
in spite. Yeah. What do you think, Pat?
Interesting. Well, Steve Ashworth's kid goes to Tennessee, doesn't he? He's like 25 years old. How old is Steve Ashworth, for crying out loud?
He's been in college forever.
My God, he's been married for 8 years. And what the hell is going on out there? I think Louisville is also got a big chip on their shoulder. I think they got more of a chip on their shoulder than North Carolina. North Carolina was gifted. Louisville does not deserve this seed. I mean, yes, they are playing at home, but I mean, it's a joke of a seeding. Like, I know the ACC was down. Clemson was good. They beat Clemson. Yeah, it was a bad no call at the end. They beat him. That was a great one too. When they asked him what put Clemson over, Clemson. He could go, Clemson beat Duke, and they just measured up better. Louisville was 2-0 against Clemson. What do you mean they measured up against them? What are we measuring?
Unbelievable.
So I like this Louisville squad. These sometimes Creighton can be sometimes when they're away from home and they're not hitting their shots, they can go cold and it looks bad against anyone. Look at the double overtime game; they were barely loved against DePaul in the first round of the Big East tournament, where they luck boxed their way to that victory. And I like Creighton. I'm not here to sun slander on Creighton, but I think Louisville is going to have an extra chip on the shoulder and. Let's just say when you see the right from Nebraska and Louisville, there's going to be a bit of a cultural gap. Yeah, it is big time. Little cultural gap between these two. Give me Louisville. Give me an angry Louisville team to get things done. And maybe Creighton goes cold.
Shout out to Willie saying, love you on this show, Bet Detective, right?
I know. We had to move some things around. Shout out to Noah for moving graphics up and down. He was cursing me left and right for the surprise appearance.
Bet Detective was on. We were actually going to start on time. I
throw me under the bus. I'll take it. I got because you guys are on time every other show.
Yeah, I jumped in here 13 minutes prior to the showtime, and Colby was actually in here 11 minutes, and then I saw that on Colby's screen was CJ, and I was like, "Fuck!" So I got to work on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. No, good God,
The only thing worse than Bubba Cunningham is the fucking Bet Detective.
It's nothing against CJ. It's that damn studio because you got to have a big screen for
right.
Yeah. Once again, we apologize for CJ's language.
I mean, I think that Creighton Louisville game though, what a banger to start.
It's a great game, and Louisville did get screwed, but like you said. These are some of the best matchups we've seen in the tournament in a long time, and that comes from bad seeding. But it's games I want to watch.
Yeah,
I also come from it. I also think it comes from a lot of the higher seeds in the mid-major conferences won their conference tournament. There are going to be a lot of live teams in these.
No bid stealers.
I'm not sure if you guys tackled this. I didn't listen to your guys' show yesterday. No disrespect. I was only on the plane for 10 hours. Just decided to watch that Stallone retrospective. I was curious, you guys' thoughts on this whole, I think this field, when you look at it, is pretty damn open as far as some of these matchups. When normally you go through and you write in your obvious ones. And I did that. I only had 7 or 8 of those where I feel like normally you have 15 or 16 ones that you love.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel that I think this is the best actual bracket that I've seen, as far as matchups for an opening round that I've seen in a long time, maybe ever. Mac, I know this is a sore subject with you, but do you agree with that assessment minus one team?
Well, I thought they fucking butchered a bunch of other seeds too. By the way, VCU, if they had lost the championship game, would have been out of the field with the way that they had them seeded. Yeah. So
that's true.
And St. Mary's being as low as they were, I thought was a joke. There's some headlines. I mean, we'll get to Bill Selfer's Calipari here in a little bit.
Oh yeah, love that one.
They crowbarred a couple TMZ games in that 7:30 window, and they got that Saturday night spotlight game already penciled in on who they want.
Yeah,
that St. Mary's seating is awful. I mean, that's just awful. Good Lord. And Michigan, not that I'm a Michigan fan, but I feel bad for them. I mean, nobody watches. That's just say we don't care about that Big Ten conference. I mean, it happens a half hour before Selection Sunday's
clearly,
over.
San Diego State loses to Boise, and they're like, yeah, San Diego State's in.
Yeah, I had the hardest time trying to even explain and rationalize why Michigan was a 5 seed to my dad. Like, he doesn't comprehend that, like, the committee already is so lazy that they make the bracket on Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's games don't mean a thing. He's like, they need to move the game up 2 hours before selection show begins. That doesn't matter, Dad. They need to move the game to Saturday. That way they have Sunday.
Well, it's all travel. Dad. It's all travel plans. Like travel agents. It's like they work for Orbitz. You know, it's like
they're busy picking their lunch. They're saying. They're saying, should we get the ham sandwiches today? You guys like the ham sandwiches last year?
Bring in the cake.
Boise's up? Whatever.
What the committee had to look at, right? Because Michigan had played the 3 straight games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, I think the bracket is made Thursday. The last 3 games that Michigan played, 3 straight losses. Out of the last 6 games, they were 2-4. They lost to Michigan State, Illinois, Maryland, Michigan State again. All those teams, top 6 seeds in the bracket. So they were like, you know what? Michigan's a 5 seed right now. In the last 3 games where they all were quad one neutral wins, they didn't matter. So
no, you're giving these corrupt, lazy motherfuckers away. You think they looked at their last 6? They were saying, I got 104,000 reasons why North Carolina's got the field. And old Bubba is running the show. And, Luke is after the fucking.
I can't.
They weren't worried about Michigan's fucking last 5 record or anything. Michigan got hosed though.
Mac is going to tie him up Clark Griswold style. Get his boss. Get Bubba tied up in the basement. Tell our family why. Yeah, why'd you ruin my family's March?
You explain it to my mom.
Tires and thumbs.
Yeah, that game's great. I love that opening game, and that goes right into this one. High Point, Purdue, Providence, Rhode Island. Purdue's laying 7.5. The over/under at 153.5. This is a tricky one for me, man. This is one where High Point. I thought early in the year in a couple of high showcase games, they weren't as good as I thought they were going to be. But they did beat UAB. They did beat UAB. And I remember being surprised at that a little bit. I thought UAB was going to get them. They did lose to Greensboro and they took down North Texas, but Purdue on the other side, they've been a mess kind of the end of the season. 7.5 points is a lot of points. I will take High Point in the points, but I think Purdue wins this game. Mac, what are you doing here?
You know, I think everybody knows I love to bet dogs, but I think I'm going to surprise people. I'm taking Purdue. I think Purdue's going to win by double digits and blow it open late. I don't see how High Point slows them down defensively. So I think also, yes, Purdue has choked big time in this tournament, but I think when you got veteran guards like they do now, Braden Smith was a part of that team. Fletcher Lawyer was a part of that team. Kaufman Rem was a part of that team. I think they remember that. I don't think they're going to sleepwalk through this. I think they win by 10 to 12, and I'll trust this. I'll trust the best point guard in the country, Braden Smith, to get it done for me.
Bieniek, what are you doing here in Providence, Rhode Island? Lovely Providence, Rhode Island, they say.
Yeah, Providence, Rhode Island is the place to be for Thursday and Friday. This one, I'm taking High Point on the money line. The guys give me a ton of shit for being, just a big voice for Purdue and how much I like the Boilermakers. But I think this is really not an ideal matchup for Purdue. I start off with this. Yes, Purdue has the best point guard in this game, but High Point has plenty of high major down transfers on this team. They are deep. Purdue is not. They have 3 guys in TKR, Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer. Outside of that, they're young, inexperienced, and it's been the big flaw of this team. Right now, off the bench, the 6th man for this High Point team is Bobby Pettiford, who played for 2 years at Kansas.
Oh, he's on my shit list.
But yeah, he was at East Carolina too. I'm just saying,
he's on my shit list.
That is their 6th man of this team. They also have a 7-footer in Bodo, who's going to be able to slow down TKR. I'm not saying he's going to totally body up Trey Kaufman-Renn and slow down this Purdue offense. I'm just saying they have the tools to match up with the Boilermakers. And I think that this is a game where we know that the trend is there against Matt Painter in these first round upset spots and even a 15 seed knocking them off in the Sweet 16. I'll take High Point to not only cover, but win.
Ooh, I like that.
What the hell's going on? I picked Purdue to cover, and Bieniek took.
I know. Bieniek's always the Purdue backer with Matt Painter.
Roles are reversed over here, Bieniek.
I shouldn't say always the Matt Painter backer, because I do remember being, several whiskeys deep and having this bird chirping in my ear throughout every casino in Vegas.
Thank you for mentioning this. Pour one out for Tobin Anderson. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Fired from Iona in just a second. Who does Iona think they are? Right?
They were
just because they had Patino, like they just think they're going to coast into the tournament every year.
They think they deserve Patino.
They were only like 2 games above 500 against MAAC play, and they spend by far the most money on their roster year in and year out in the NIL era with Rick Pitino and now Tobin. That was not good enough.
We got to the championship game
for having
man, you don't fire him after his second
2 years. Come on, you gotta at least have a third year. Bet Detective, you're a big fan of the Purdue Boilermakers. You spent some time in West Lafayette.
I was gonna be a pilot. I was gonna be an engineer over there in that fucking school.
Big Brian Cardinal guy.
I know. I tell you what, Mac, this is a good time to get in on Purdue. The line opened up at 9.5, and everyone is on High Point. It seems like, and it came down obviously to 7.5. It's not a bad time to do a little buyback. I kind of see where you're coming from, but I still think this line should be around 4. Like I just think I like this High Point team, and I think like Noah said, this is a bad matchup for them. Things are gonna be happening in Providence. Shout out to the Foxy Lady Adult Club, strip club, who has Legs and Eggs, the world famous Legs and Eggs at Foxy Lady in Providence, Rhode Island. So I know Ricky Pitino might be up there as he waves past stores on his way up there.
But counting down 765.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What was the name of that place again?
Foxy Lady is the name of the place.
Foxy Lady.
But Legs and Eggs is a famous Friday morning. They do it's actually a legitimate good breakfast. You would think it's not, but they bring in the it's like a hotel continental breakfast, and you're up there and you're eating, and the ladies are talking to you with.
I ate everything. I ate pussy, I ate the butt, I ate every motherfucking thing. Yeah, right?
The only thing on my mind, Gene, was pussy.
But I'm not laying these points with Purdue. Even if it is coming down to 7.5, I still want to take them with High Point. I think it's a tight game. It's a couple possessions. But I do think Purdue wins it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, between this and the Creighton Louisville game to start off the day, I don't know which one I want to watch more. I mean, both are great. They're going to be going on at the same time. 20 minutes apart. Which one are you looking forward to more, Mac?
I think that Creighton Louisville game, just because of the contrast in styles. Louisville wants to spread you out, shoot up threes, and then Creighton wants to just play through Kalkbrenner. So the contrast, I think I'll take that one.
Shout out to I saw the chat saying they're a big fan of the Foxy Lady.
It's world famous. The Legs and Eggs is world famous. Foxy Lady, and the NBA, the ballers all go there. Trust me, Pitino will be there. I can guarantee.
Has already been there.
That is a minus 250 bet.
They got his picture on the wall. Bieniek, which one are you more excited to watch out of those two?
Oh, I'm locked into the Providence site the entire day. So I think all of those games are loaded.
There we go. All right, let's jump over to the next game. The Montana Grizzlies. Could this be the year? They are headed to Denver, Colorado to take on the Wisconsin Badgers. Badgers laying 16.5. 16.5. Look, I understand the Big Sky's been shit in the NCAA tournament of late, but I just think this is an insane number for a Montana. I think I said this throughout the season watching Montana. This is the best Montana team I've ever seen. Now that I don't know what that really means, but I do believe it's a really good team. I feel like the Big Sky is more. They're getting more athletes than they ever have before. And I don't know if that's NIL or what, but like when I watch, I'm like, hey, they don't just have a bunch of Brian Cardinals.
Yeah.
But. It's a big ass number. I got to take the points. Here. 16.5. Montana's going to have that crowd. That's not that far away. Montana's
I'm with you, Colby. Like I'm taking the points, and to your point too, this game is in elevation. So Montana plays in elevation, and they're getting 18.5. Or what's the current number at?
16.5. Yeah.
So it's down to 16.5. I still think that's too many. Wisconsin's off of 4 games in 4 days where they played. I mean, it felt like every game was a freaking slobber knocker right down to the wire rugby match. I just think Montana, historically a good program. No one knows they played Michigan a couple times. The number usually landed around 15 to 20. I think Wisconsin wins by like 12. I think I don't think they're going to lose, but I mean, Montana, you look at it, they went to Utah State earlier in the year, another elevation spot. And I'm not saying Utah State is Wisconsin, but there's some similarities. And they kept that game close. So give me Montana and the points here.
The guards of Montana this year are pretty damn good with Malik Moore and Money Williams. And then the, what's it? Pridgeon, I think it is. Noah, what are you doing here in Denver?
Yeah, both of these teams pretty much operate right around middle of the road tempo-wise, and a lot of people seem to be really buying into the Wisconsin dead leg theory. 4 games in 4 days from the Big Ten tournament. You now travel to Colorado in Denver, and you're playing at elevation. So maybe the offense isn't as sharp, and that's something that like they've really relied on this season. They completely transformed their identity. They still have a great defense. And I think that's going to be what helps us cash an under here. I'm going to go under 152.5. The cocktail napkin has it at 147.5. And my pick is going to be on Montana plus the points, but I think Wisconsin wins this one comfortably by 3 possessions or more. But yeah, I think the under is your best look in this game.
Yeah, I don't think Montana's live. I know some people are calling for that. I've seen some people call.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people
calling
for that.
Look, remember Wisconsin lost to James Madison last year. I think they have this one circled. They're going to focus on this. I think Wisconsin, like you said, Mac, I like that 10 to 12, 13, even 14-point win, something like that. How about you, Bet Detective?
Yeah. James Madison was a better team, by the way, last year. But still,
which they're all at Vanderbilt now.
Yeah, no.
I
don't want to. All right, I don't want to lay 16.5 with Wisconsin. I'm also not rushing to the window to play Montana.
Their best player went to Louisville for what it's worth, but a lot of them did follow.
Yeah,
fair enough. But I'm not rushing to the window to play Montana. Although I think I owe them after cashing in on that conference title, plus 285 for them Grizz. I'll take the points. I don't like it. Like you said, when those games, this comes down to the garbage time at the end. If it was a tighter game, I'd definitely love to fade Wisconsin. But I can also see Wisconsin opening up on them in the second half and pulling away. But it could also be sleepy. Like the travel spot with everything you mentioned with the travel spot, the 4 games, the slobber knockers, the rock fights in the Big Ten that happens in Indianapolis. Hard to get up to flex your muscles a little bit and open up a 20-point win. So give me the 16.5 and hold on tight and don't watch.
Next up, let's go to SIU Edwardsville taking on the Houston Cougars in Wichita.
Oh God.
28.5 points is what these Cougs are laying right now.
Mm-hmm.
Good God. Now, I will say, was it last year or the year before where a team kept it within like 12, I thought?
It was not last year.
It was not last year because that was also one of the other things I wanted to fade with High Point is the Big South teams have gotten absolutely housed, and Longwood got absolutely bent over by Houston.
The Big South, though, this year was competitive in the non-conference. We were like, this is the best non-con that the Big South has had. So.
Yes. What did Houston win by last year in that?
It was like 50. It was like 50 points. They destroyed Longwood.
86-46, Colby.
I still, I mean, I know it sounds crazy. I still feel like we have to take the points here. I mean, like 28.5. But I do think if it's one team that's just going to lay it on them.
Yeah.
I'm taking the points. I think Edwardsville's not that bad. Give me the points. No, this is when I'm not betting. I will not be betting this game.
29.5 at a place now.
What is it? 29?
29.5 out there.
Colby.
You get it. Yeah.
Colby, Houston played 4 games against competition rated 200 or worse on KenPom. Jackson State, 97-40. Louisiana, 91-45. Hofstra, 80-44. Toledo, 78-49. And that's a good program. They destroy these teams.
It's just a lot.
But let me ask you this: those are all in Houston, Texas.
What's in Wichita?
I'm saying Edwardsville, Illinois. How far is that from Wichita? You gotta have some coming, right? You gotta have some coming, Bet Detective, right?
What, the team chaperones?
How far is Edwardsville from where?
Wichita.
You ain't gonna have no fucking crowd here.
Yeah, it's pretty close, actually, to be honest.
I don't think it's that far. Someone Google map this fucking thing. Chat, how far is that? If you're an Edwardsville fan, you are D2 recently,
right?
Like, why wouldn't you go? If you're an alum, you're like, this is the greatest thing fucking ever. Wichita, can we check that?
All right, hold on, I'm going to check it for you. I'll be your producer. I'll be your damn producer.
hey, Colby. Here's my final verdict. I'll take Edwardsville in the points because Houston won the Big 12 this year. Last year they got absolutely housed in the tournament game or championship game, and then Kelvin ripped their ass for a week, and then they took it out on poor Longwood.
Yeah.
I think that they win by 25.
I'll say this: it's almost a 7-hour drive. Just as an update, 6 hours 49 minutes, and for Midwesterners, that's like going to the grocery store and back. That is absolutely.
Here's
nothing.
my point.
I'm not willing to bend the knee like Mac is, but I'm not taking you to the Houston spread. I'm taking you to the Edwardsville team total under 48.5. Only one of those teams that I mentioned put up more than 48.5 points. That was the Toledo Rockets, and they put up 49. Edwardsville's offense is ranked 250th or something on KenPom offensively, and they're kind of a one-man show with Rayshon Taylor, watching them in the OVC. So I'm just not buying it. Not buying what Colby's trying to sell.
Well, let me add in this. 2 years ago, Houston was a 1 seed. They played a 16 seed in Northern Kentucky. 63-52 was the final.
Yeah.
Give me the points and the Cougs.
That's a tough 16 seed looking back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Good. Yeah, Edwardsville's not that, but I agree. Let's go, Colby.
Bet Detective, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm not even thinking twice. I'm taking the points on here, and I feel good about it. I fade 1 seeds all the time with this because you're always paying a premium of at least 3 or 4 or 5 points because who's going to not lay it with Houston who are going to want to. This line should be. I think this line should be like 25 or so. I mean, they might win
29.5.
I know they might win by 40, but just out of principle, I'm taking 29.5 points.
Colby, in that Houston Northern Kentucky game, that was the game that Marcus Sasser left with his groin injury that he re-aggravated.
But still, I mean, okay, fair point. But I'm just saying that they still only won by 11. You're asking them to score 19 more points is the difference in that if you played half that game or whatever?
Northern Kentucky, I think, is marginally better than this SIUE team.
But they're going to have fans. They're making the trip. 7 hours is nothing.
7 hours is nothing.
Nothing. All right.
Give me the 29.
Let's go.
And this thing's going to go up to 30. It's not coming down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get Colby riled up. How about that 1 seed that they got Northern Kentucky? They were the AA seed. No respect for you guys that year.
Unbelievable.
That was like a third
fucking believable. Yeah, they're trying to get us to lose that game.
And they're starting to get some respect.
Yeah. Some bullshit in these meetings. All right, next up, and I know I'm just going with these dogs. I just feel like the dogs are biting right now. Don't worry. I'm going to go with another dog here because McNeese is taking on Clemson. I know Will Wade is talking to NC State, the Pussy Pack. That would be a terrible decision, Will. Let me tell you, Pussy Pack, like bad gig. It just ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
But Clemson's laying 7.5. Once again, Providence, Rhode Island. Now Clemson, the last time they stepped on the hardwood, they had some injuries, right? So I'm curious. We got. Dylan Hunter's out for the season. Is Buckner out for the season as well? So that is pretty substantial news. I think both are out for the season.
I know the one Hunter's out.
Yeah, Hunter's out for the year. That's been known.
Which is a pretty.
He's a rotation player. Same with Buckner, for what it's worth.
Well, I mean, depth will matter. I think I think that could matter. I'm going to take the points in McNeese. Newsflash. I got McNeese winning outright. Yeah. Plus 280. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, you fucks. All right. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, let's go. McNeese, I think from an athlete standpoint, actually has the better athletes with all these high major transfers. I think their speed is going to be able to bother Clemson. Yes, I know Clemson will have the advantage on the inside, but The year after the year, everybody and their brother wanted McNeese against Gonzaga, and everybody's like, they got killed last year. I'm out on McNeese. No, they learned from that experience. We'll wait to address that in the portal this year. They got better team, ready to go. Give me McNeese outright over Clemson.
And the year after the year, they went to the Elite Eight at Clemson last year.
Yes.
Think they don't think like, we got this? Great spot. Bieniek, what are you doing here in Providence?
I think they got this. Give me Clemson. McNeese, sure. Maybe they tried to fill some holes that last year's team may have had, but in the non-conference, lost to Alabama. Sure, they're great, but lost to South Dakota State, lost to Liberty, lost to Santa Clara, lost to Mississippi State. Got in the conference play, they went 19-1. I know doing this a lot for some of these teams isn't like the greatest handicap because it's all matchup based, but this Clemson team is a team that I've really liked the bones of for quite a bit, and I think this year's even better than last year's. And last year they went to the Elite Eight. I mentioned it on last night's show. I think PJ Hall at the end of the last season got into foul trouble way too much and didn't even really kind of play in a lot of these games. Victor Locken is a great rim from presence for them, and Ian Shefflin has basically been PJ Hall just playing the 4. So he's able to stay out of trouble because of that rim front presence. And the defense is better because Joe Girard was kind of a dead eye, but defensively was a little bit lacking at the perimeter. So give me Chase Hunter, Jaden Zachary, and Chauncey Wiggins up there as well as a little bit of an upgrade. I like this Clemson team a lot. We were talking about it on yesterday's show. They're my dark horse out of this region to get to the Final Four.
Bet detective.
Fuck that. McNeese outright. Let's go.
Come on. That bullshit talk.
You're just ripping the ACC and Louisville. Who they beat? I tell you, they beat Clemson twice. This garbage ass. No, I like Clemson. It's a nice Clemson team, but I like being. We're a year early on McNeese. This is the one come. We got Will Wade. What are we talking about here? Definitely taking the points. I think it's going to be a battle. That Clemson. This is not a matchup Clemson wanted. I mean, but you're right. If they get actually, I think if Clemson gets past this, then they can do some damage. But yeah, they have some injuries. I think McNeese is going to be real tough for him. So give me this. What is it? 7.5?
7.5, and I do think, like Clark's point, I think the crowd will be rooting for McNeese, especially get to that second half. I think the crowd is going to be saying, "Go
Give me
Cowboys."
the candy. This is a perfect Clemson team to get upset too.
This season, I'm targeting a lot of the coaches that are flirting with new jobs. Like I'm targeting against them. I know Brownell's kind of in the Indiana conversation too, so that it's a little bit of a wash here. But specifically with Will Wade, he's a Clemson alum. And was very, very excited when he got this draw. They were talking about it. This is going to be a cool story. I cannot wait for the.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
You don't think he wants to show all those kids he grew up with that he's the fucking man? That gal that never went with him to the dance? All right. It's going to show her something. What's that?
And real quick to everybody in the chat that's saying that Clemson's just going to blow him out. McNeese went to Mississippi State, lost by 3. They lost at Alabama by 8. They lost to Liberty, who's in the field, by 4. South Dakota State by 7. They're blowout proof. They're going to hang in the game. It's whether you think that they win by like 10 to 12. They're not losing by 30.
And those are good teams. Noah's trying to rip off like God. I can't play him.
They're winning,
especially
outright.
Liberty.
Yeah,
thank you. There we fucking.
The Weehawks asking me if I'm locking this thing up. You're damn right we are.
Yeah, fuck no. This is against Noah. This is personal. This has nothing to do. What was that game in Vegas? Was that the Yale game? Or no, that was
what was that? Purdue, I thought, right? Which game was that? I know what you're talking about.
Yale was happening, but something else was happening on the side where everyone was rooting against Noah.
Noah. Oh, it's Florida, Colorado.
Florida, Colorado.
Not laughing now, eh?
And
the one seed was basically the same loss.
They should have pulled it out too.
Wait till those pictures come out of Todd Gold.
Yeah, they were losing like by 15 points in that game. I stepped into that room and all of a sudden it was going the Gators' way.
Now they came back. I had a Gators ticket. I was ripping it up. I'm like, fuck you, Noah. I wanted to win.
The tides kind of turn. It's easy to see.
I've got a video of
Did I say those words?
Our entire vlog didn't get aired on YouTube. It never even got made. But I've got the video of just 8 different people flipping me off after Florida.
Put that in the Patreon. What are we doing here?
Hey, go Beams to say we were doing 8 balls before the show.
What's that? I'm sorry. I mean, well, we had to welcome Colby back to here to Los Angeles, and he wanted to know.
I smoke and I drink, and I don't have stress, and I'm healthy.
And he said, would you like a line? And Colby said,
Utah. Give me 2.
Yeah, he won a couple. So here we are. We're doing it, guys. I mean, how else are we going to do every game?
Yeah, we were talking every fucking game. Bet Detective he didn't know what he signed up for. He's like, oh yeah, we're in there. We were already an hour into this.
He goes, we're gonna do the first 4. Yeah, the first 4 fucking days of the tournament. Jesus Christ.
Next up, we are going to Denver, Colorado, where the VCU Rams are trying to ram it against the BYU Cougs. BYU is laying. I'm now seeing this at. I think this has gone up a full point. I am seeing BYU -3.5, and it's interesting. When I was first breaking this game down, I completely, spaced out on the location, and I was ready to take VCU. I think VCU is going to catch them, but then I thought the location, once I got reminded about that, is a great element. This will be a BYU crowd, and at elevation, I think that's a real fucking advantage. I will lay. What's that?
Add in Ryan Odom, also flirting with jobs the entire season, for what it's worth. So,
yeah. There's rumors about him to UVA. So yeah, I'm gonna lay it with BYU. I swear, if this was in Charlotte, if this was in Fort Myers, I would be taking VCU. But I think it's all about the spot here, the location, and the fact that VCU just played a game. Give me BYU -3.5. And finally, a favorite from Dundee. Mac, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm going with my Rams, man. I've highlighted them for about a month now that I think this team is, and I said it, man. I thought they got fucking shafted on their seed that they're an 11 seed. I think they should be around an 8 or 9. They got 3 veteran guards in Shulga, Jackson, and Bamasil. I think they have the depth in the backcourt to match BYU. I know the game's at elevation, and BYU's used to that. But this is Kevin Young's first NCAA tournament game versus Ryan Odom, who's been there, done that, won big games in this tournament. I like VCU outright. I think VCU brings back that whole team last year. I think they make enough plays, junk it up here, and give me the Rams to knock off the Cougs here out in Denver.
Yeah. Are you gonna lock this, Mac?
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite plays. I love that.
I'm betting every game.
I'm betting every game, but this is one of my favorite ones. I love VCU.
I'm gonna bet majority of the games, but I can't bet that SIU Edwardsville game.
I can. That's one of my.
Maybe I will. I came into this show thinking I'm no way I'm touching that. Now I'm like, you guys make a good point.
Yeah,
technically you are betting every game. The first half unders, everybody.
That is true. We are taking the first half unders on every single NCAA tournament game. Bieniek, what are you doing here in this matchup in Denver?
Yeah, I already kind of leaked my handicap here. It's anti VCU handicap, mainly because their coach is probably the name of the cycle, and has been since November when Tony Bennett stepped out like a week before the season began. There's been other rumors about other programs and
Villanova. I heard. Yeah, recently.
Villanova. Yeah. So. BYU at elevation. I think the Mormons will show up and show out. So, give me the Cougars.
Does he teach the pump fake? That's what Villanova likes. He likes pump fake.
One of the first questions.
Yeah.
Do you teach the pump fake? So Noah's on the Cougs with me. Bet Detective, what are you doing here?
I mean, I have a VCU future to get to the Final Four, which I have taken.
You took a while ago,
a while ago.
January or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like 85-1. We got another one, 100-1. I hate this matchup versus BYU. I hate this game's going to be great, and I think this line got way too small because people like VCU, and I do too. But what is this at 2.5?
I'm saying 3.5 now. It jumped up a point.
Still, I mean, this line should be around 6. I'm going to take BYU with the elevation, which I'm ashamed, and I think the winner of this game does a lot of damage and gets them to the Elite 8.
Whoa, there we go. So
either one. I love both. I like both teams. Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah, I have BYU in my Elite 8, so I would agree with that.
Let's jump over to the next game because we got the Battle of the Dogs here. The Bulldogs, the Georgia Bulldogs in Wichita, Kansas, taking on the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The Zags are laying 5.5, and once again, my chalk returns. I will lay the 5.5 with Gonzaga. I just feel like they're playing really good ball right now. Georgia's a team. Shout out to Snow White for getting them in there. They have 0 tournament experience. I think this is where Mark had a few is going to make that point. He's going to say, hey, this is what we do. What do we do at Gonzaga? We get the Sweet 16s. But what they have Houston on deck. We'll talk about that later. But Mac, I'm on the Zags. I feel good about this. I'm betting this game. Your thoughts? What are you doing here?
You know me, man. We've been dying on the sword all year with our Zags, but they've come through for us recently. This is the same damn group that went to the Sweet 16 last year with EK, Nemhard, Battle, Hickman, Huff. They have found their identity. They have the experience in this tournament. Mark Few, Mike White, they've overachieved. Happy to be there. I know they're in the SEC, the best league this year, but I think the Zags open it up late here in Wichita. I think they play one of their better games of the year, but their streak of the Sweet 16s is coming to an end because Houston's going to smack their ass next round.
Bieniek, your thoughts on this one?
I haven't bought this Gonzaga foo-foo shit the entire year. I thought this is one of the weaker resumes that Gonzaga has had. Sure, their roster is great because they did go to the Sweet 16 last year with the exact same roster, but they have underperformed. Just watching this team game by game, I don't think they really improved at all throughout the regular season. And even in the non-conference, I don't think they did the type of damage that Mark Few teams typically do. And Mike White is known for doing a little damage in the NCAA tournament. He's never lost a first-round game. I think they cover this. I think they keep it close. Give me the Bulldogs, the Gonzaga, or the Georgia Bulldogs out of Athens, and Mike White.
Good trick there. Give me the Bulldogs. I'll lay it and take it. Try to middle them dogs.
Middle them dogs. He's got a good point with Snow White, though.
One more point to the cocktail napkin likes the over. It's at 155.5 on the napkin, only 150.5 here. So maybe plenty of points.
There we go. Bet Detective, what are you doing here?
I see that too. I think this is too many points to give Georgia. Georgia was a hot team.
Blue Cane.
Yeah, I know, right? Yes.
Blue Cane.
Georgia was a hot team that I was liking. I know they lost that first round. I accidentally bet $2,000 on them to win the SEC tournament. Luckily, the good people at my bookie gave it back to me. But I was.
You got to love that.
I put in 20. It put in for 2,000. It automatically accepted it. These savages.
And you didn't know. How long did it take you to notice?
Sure. Would you like to confirm back? No.
Right. Yeah. No confirm. Automatic. Yeah. It said, "Good luck. You want a pom because you're going to have a sweaty first game."
I guarantee you instantly got some like mail shit they're going to send out to you. Hey, well, welcome to mybookie.ag. Why don't you come become a member?
I know. CJ thought there was a decimal point in the middle after the first 2 zeros.
How long did it take you to notice?
Immediately, because my account went from bank to like barely nothing. I'm like, whoa, where'd my money go? And then it said potential win of $220,000. I go, well, that would be nice. I thought about it.
You thought about it, just not, maybe I don't email it.
Yeah, let me screenshot that, put it on X, get some clout, talk to IT, get the check, get it back. Then try to weasel them because they keep the cash out option at $1,500 for my $20 bet. See if I can swindle them there. They were right. They pulled it down. But anyway, and then I was like,
offshore too. That's shocking.
Oh yeah,
offshore. I'm thinking like this dude just bet 20 grand.
No, 100%. They talked about it for a while. Then they scolded me. This is the one time only. All right, my bookie. Don't act like this is a scam I'm trying to pull on you. But then I'm like, God damn, Georgia better not win this thing.
You're like, I thought this was football.
Yeah. That'd still be a bad bet. But I still think 5.5, 6 is too many points. I agree with there with Noah. Like I know Gonzaga got it together towards the end of the season. How painful was that championship game versus St. Mary's there when we were both like 2 for 50. I was on Gonzaga, but good Lord.
Yeah. I mean, so you're riding the dogs.
I'm just going to take the points. I think Gonzaga wins this game, but if you're going to give me 3 possessions worth of points, I want to take it.
There we go.
Yeah, that NIT. What was Mike White's track record with Louisiana Tech too, Mac? He ran that thing there too. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So just get him outside of the conference tournament, and he's fine. Conference tournament though, they bit him in the ass when he was.
I'm not a great trend guy, but there's a pretty strong 9-8 trend just to take the dogs with the points, and it's come like a high 60% or something like that.
but Fuey's been pretty fucking good in this tournament.
Yeah. That's true.
The other side.
Solid
I'm not denying
point.
that.
Solid point.
Yeah. Next up, we got Wofford taking on Tennessee. Some more dog on dog action. The Vols are laying 18.5 in Lexington. Good God, this is going to be a Tennessee crowd. 18.5 is a big ass number, but Chalky Dundee is laying the 18.5 against Wofford. I just think Tennessee's too much, especially with Lexington being right up the road. I think they're going to put the clamps on the Wofford offense, and Rick Barnes will get a 27-point win in the opening round. Mac, what are you doing here?
He usually is pretty fucking good in this opening round.
Except that Colgate game.
They
the
were
Colgate game.
Colgate,
Yeah. Went to overtime, I believe.
Was that what year was that?
3 years ago, I think.
22.
Yeah, I think 21. I think.
Last time that they went to the SEC title game, because so this is a different handicap. They just had to play 3 games in 3 days. Do they get up? I'll take the points with Wofford. Give me Tennessee by 16. I think that I've liked what I saw from them down the stretch from an identity standpoint, and I usually like to take the SoCon dog. So Wofford you're battle tested if you get through the SoCon, in my opinion. Going through Sanford, ETSU, Greensboro, all those teams are competitive in these NCAA tournament games. Getting 18.5, I'll take Wofford.
Bieniek, what are you doing here in Lexington?
I kind of agree with you, Colby. I think that SoCon is kind of a little upset that one of their top 5 teams didn't win this thing. Corey Tripp is a hell of a baller and could keep him in the game if he has a Jack Golke type performance and doesn't miss. But I just don't think that Tennessee's defense is going to allow you to have something like that. I think that they'll be pretty locked down, even if they aren't very offensive. I don't trust Wofford's defense, who is Swiss cheese against everybody and anybody, to slow down Tennessee. So give me Tennessee. I'll lay the points here. And I kind of like the over here.
Over 132.5. I'm seeing 133.5 now. Bieniek 1 up a point.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you what the napkin says on that, because I was leaning under with this one.
Oh, the napkin's got it right on the number. I'm just saying the way that I see it going, I think Tennessee, it's a little bit of a blowout, and Wofford's kind of 40, 50 points.
Not that I have to tell anyone how to first half under it, but I think this is a great first half under play, this Wofford Tennessee game, because I think towards the end is when they could open up the threes and kind of could get away from it. Just because, what's the total? 133 here?
133.
So that's kind of a low scoring game. That's why I'll take the points when it comes to that, but this does seem like a 20-point victory no matter what. So I'll take the points out of principle at 19.5 just because of the low total, just the way that game works. But I like the under here, so I'm going to take Wofford in the under.
Orange whip. Orange whip. 3 orange whip.
All right, next up we jump over to what do we got here? The Arkansas Razorbacks take it on the Kansas Jayhawks in Providence, Rhode Island. 2 legendary coaches from a national championship standpoint and Final Four standpoint.
You mean these guys?
Yes, those guys right there. Yay! Look at that suit.
Hey, calamari.
Fascinated by this game. Arkansas turned it on late, looked a lot better once the Boogie injury happened, but he's back. I'm hearing, by the way. Yeah. Something to be a little scared about if you're a Razorback fan. Kansas been all over the place this year. Man, who do you think the crowd will be rooting for here? If you have Clemson fans there, if you have, what's the other matchup?
Johnny's fans.
It's weird because you probably root for Arkansas, but do you really want to root for Calipari?
That's what I'm saying. It's tricky. It's very, very tricky.
Calipari? Yeah.
They like Calipari up there in UMass area.
Amherst is just a show.
Travieso. What are we talking about here?
If you get another day of Calipari there, or another 2 days for what it's worth in Providence, the Italian restaurants might.
That's what we're saying here. What are you guys talking about?
So
here's the difference for me. Kansas just has way, way too much experience against a young Arkansas team. I will lay the 4.5. I am fascinated by this game. If you're asking me to power rank these games, because I am going to bet this, because I'm just fascinated by the game, but I could see Arkansas winning this on the money line too. But the Kansas I've seen this year is just all over the fucking place. So I don't have a lot of confidence in this play, but I am going to bet Kansas and just blind bet the experience factor. Kansas, one of the most experienced teams in this whole fucking tournament. So give me the Jayhawks, rock chalk. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm on Kansas. And one of the other factors, I think Kansas was just bad in the Big 12 too. You look at what they did in the non-con. They beat Duke. They beat Sparty, both on neutral floors. That's like that's ACC and Big Ten champ. I think them stepping out of the Big 12 with all that experience. Juan Harris has been on a national championship, and he's been the starting point guard. I mean, say what you want about Dickinson. He's played in an Elite Eight. KJ Adams, he's played in a Final Four, won a national championship as well as a role player. I'm with you. Rylan Griffin, he played on a Final Four at Alabama last year. And you get Bill Self versus Calipari. I'll take Bill Self. So I'll take the Jayhawks to win by 7.
The disrespect Calipari gets is just incredible. He has as many titles as Izzo. For crying out loud. Yeah. And Calipari can't walk into a building.
Remember.
How many first-round picks has he had versus Izzo?
Yeah, they were 17 years old. These fucking kids.
Remember the narrative though. He didn't do it the right way. No, I mean the white way.
He didn't do it.
He didn't have Mike Pepolowski. Right?
I would say they love Patino, the Godfather. He got excommunicated to Greece. That's sleeping with his mistress on the floor of a restaurant. Calipari's got a wife who's not attractive, and he goes home to every day. He does things the right way, as I'm trying to say there. Fuck this Kansas team too.
They are
a pain in the ass all year.
God.
They are a complete pain in the ass. Bieniek, I'm sorry to skip you, but Bet Detective's already voiced his opinion. Give us more.
I'm sorry.
Once again, we apologize for CJ's language.
You guys are good. Let the show flow how the show flows.
I know we have a rotation going here.
Well,
but
why are you really on Arkansas? Tell the folks.
I got a future on Arkansas too, and I don't mind this bracket. I think, and I actually do think, as much as I talk shit about Kansas has got a lot of talent. They got more talent than that whole little region there. They just don't play together well. They did not.
You're buying into that poultry money
and buying that poultry money.
Tyson Chickens.
I know, no kidding. They act like they're like this underdog. They're the third best, most portal money in the country. But I think either Arkansas or Kansas will give. I think either one of these teams will give St. John's a nice little run for their money.
So you're on Arkansas. You're doubling down.
I'm taking it with. Yeah, you go to the wedding, you gotta go to the funeral. Give me the points with Arkansas. Give me the money line with Arkansas. They tried to write them off. They didn't write back.
Yeah. Bieniek, what are you doing here? Do you agree with the Bet Detective?
Let's rock chalk.
I love it.
During their best stretch of the season for Arkansas, it was kind of the back half of the year when they were racking up quad one win after quad one win, and the SEC that was totally loaded. And you know who didn't play during that stretch? It was Boogie Fland. You know who stepped into that role and excelled in that role? It was Johnell Davis. The beginning of the season, Johnell was kind of nowhere to be found, kind of lost in the luster of a lot of other young talent on this team. Let's talk about a guy that went to the Final Four, for crying out loud, on Florida Atlantic. This is a NCAA tournament piece, and now his role is in question once again. He was in double digits in 15 of the games that Boogie Fland missed. You know how many times he was in double digit point-wise in the games that Boogie was playing in? 7. And you know the competition that they scheduled in Calipari's first year? Dog shit. So I'm taking Kansas in this one. Give me the Jayhawks. Lay it.
Let's go next. What's up?
I'm just saying they did come out of the SEC, and I do like mid-tier teams of the power conferences. Like that goes on. Think of your NC State last year.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. But like your Arkansas, I mean, they played. They lost by 7 to Auburn when Auburn was rolling. Did they beat Alabama at home? I'm trying to remember that.
I think they did. Right?
No, they lost by 4.
All right, you're right. 85-81. You're right. They lost by 4, but you know. They've been hot lately, and Kansas should have lost to UCF at home, for crying out loud.
I know they've been all over the place.
Tournament.
And
I hate Hunter Dickinson's face.
It's just these love letters. He's undefeated since these love letters.
All right, fair enough.
Next up, we got Yale taking on Texas A&M and Denver, Colorado. A&M is laying 7.5. Here's the thing that jumps out to me right away.
Flight troubles for A&M.
Oh, flight troubles right there to A&M coming into Denver. But also, how about the Ivy the past couple of years? Yale beat Auburn. Just who was what? That was a 215. Was that 215? Bieniek?
No,
or was that 314?
Yeah,
Auburn 13.
Yeah.
What was it? The Princeton. What was it? Princeton, Arizona, the year
15
before.
over 2.
Okay, that's probably what I'm remembering.
And then the year before that, Yale won a tournament game too. So,
God damn, the Ivy's been on a roll. Now I understand why you jump on these Friday shows. All right?
I love and shout out to the Ivy League tournament. Saturday to Sunday, 4 teams, nothing of nonsense. we got school on Monday, 4 teams. Not everyone gets. This isn't a participation trophy. Yale, ship it. Let's go.
I mean, look, I think A&M is going to win this game. They're too experienced. 7.5 is a big fucking number.
This Yale team's good.
I don't like Buzz Williams laying 7.5 ever, really. So give me Yale and the points, but I think A&M is going to win this game. I do not think the money line is live. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, so I mean, they beat an SEC school last year. They beat Baylor before under James Jones. I'm going to lay it with A&M. I think they blow it open late. I think that it's a deceiving score, but I don't think that they're going to be able to strike twice here in back-to-back years. I don't think A&M's going to overlook them because they beat Auburn last year. They don't have Danny Wolf this year. I know they're pretty damn good still, but A&M veteran group, they're locked in. They win by 10.
No, I think this group is chomping at the bit. Call it a look-ahead game, but I think they want Michigan in the next round because of the Danny Wolf situation.
Yeah.
I think they are just as good, if not better, than that team last year was with Danny Wolf. And in that Auburn game, Wolf wasn't as much of a factor. Look at the 2 guys that have really kind of developed on the wing in Nick Townsend and John Poulakaitis. Those 2 guys have been really good this season, and Bez Bang has his hands more on the ball this season than he did last year because Wolf was the facilitating 4. I think this team has a different identity than last year, and A&M, in my opinion, kind of really needs Wade Taylor to show up. And I trust James Jones to be able to scheme up in this game with a couple of days of prep. And Texas A&M, I think I wasn't going to use this in my handicap. Yesterday, I picked Yale to win as an upset pick prior. But not being able to get out there to Denver, of all places, is a big blow
does
because
matter.
of
That
the
does
elevation.
matter.
You don't have that extra day to get accumulated or acclimated. Sorry, not accumulated. Acclimated to the conditions. So I like the Bulldogs here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was gas problems. Was that what I heard? Like, yeah, right. Yeah, I mean,
Shout out to the On3 graphic. I tweeted that out.
Who forgot to fill up the fucking plane?
It's all ball bearings.
Tell me they got up in the air and figured this out. That we got to land in. We got to land in Waco here.
Use your gym.
Unbelievable.
You just make it happen. What are you talking about? You know. Yeah, give me. I like everything you said. No, yeah, the Yale team's better than they were last year. I mean, they have changed their dynamic of they play D, they score. I mean, they were dominant. I mean, they were not as. I mean, and the Ivy League was better, I thought. So just like it's too many points for Yale for this A&M team to. And I hate this A&M team too. Bothered me all year too. They would play with their foods, and then they had a huge home win, but then they would blow games that they needed. So. Yeah, give me Yale plus, was it 7.5?
Yep. 7.5.
Give me Yale.
There we go. Next up, we got the Drake Bulldogs taking on the Missouri Tigers in Wichita, Kansas. My first thought before diving into this.
Interesting crowd, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like, who gets the crowd here? So you got Drake over in Des Moines.
Mm-hmm.
Des Moines to Wichita, CJ. What do you guess?
All right, one train leaves.
Columbia, Missouri to Wichita. I think is shorter, but
everything's to Wichita,
right?
Huh? All right.
I'm just
Columbia to Wichita is very
close.
close.
I would just assume that Columbia, Missouri's closer, but I think the Des Moines not that far away, right? So we could we get it 50-50, or is this going to be 70-30? 80-20.
320 miles from Kansas to Wichita to Columbia.
Okay.
What is the doubleheader? What's the last game? Texas Tech's gonna have a shitload of fans too. Yeah, I don't know. I think more Missouri, but I think there will be a little Drake following here at this game as well.
Yeah, I'm taking the points in Drake. I actually I think they're live in this one. I trust that Mizzou didn't play great ball down the stretch. Was not very impressed. They've been little pussies about storming the court, and to me, Drake. Yeah, honestly, they messed with the basketball gods. All right.
2 and 5 since.
And Drake is the epitome of basketball gods. They take D2 players. We don't need NIL. What? You give us lockers? Well, we never had lockers. Let's go. I'm all over the team that's hungry here. Give me the 6.5 in the Drake Bulldogs. The money line sprinkle is in effect because I got the Bulldogs moving along to the next round. Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm going to copy my exact handicap of the Yale A&M game. I think Missouri's athletes and their length wear down Drake throughout the game. And I think Missouri's able to dress it up late and win by 12. I remember Missouri a couple of years ago, I think it was against Utah State. They were definitely a trendy team to pick against. I think their athleticism and their style is hard to simulate when you don't see that type of length on a nightly basis in the Missouri Valley. So I'll lay with Missouri, lay in the 6.5 here, but I'm really looking forward to this game. I think Missouri blows it open late.
Bieniek?
I was double checking. I think Drake has more positional size than Missouri.
They don't have anybody that looks like Mark Mitchell.
6'9" and also not 100%. That was something I was looking at. Was like, yes, Ben McCollum is another one of those guys that is flirting.
Smart Bates at the guard position. They don't have those wingspans that those guys have.
I will say though,
Drake has a handful of guys that are mid 6 foot guards.
Mizzou kind of struggled against Eastern Washington early in the year, and same with Cal, and same with Jacksonville State. So they got wins in all three of those, but those are close games.
This Missouri team did get better throughout the year. This is one of the tougher games that I had to pick. I was going back and forth. Yesterday I took Drake. Today, through a lot of the handicapping, I was like, I kind of want to go back on that, mainly because I really want to fade some of these mid majors that have coaches flirting with other jobs, and that is Ben McCollum 100% right now. And Dennis Gates won his first round game. That was kind of a coin flip last year in Utah State, but then got blown out by Princeton.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Sorry, 2 years ago. Then got blown out by Princeton. So I'm all over the place. I like Drake though. In another kind of 6-11 coin flip game for me, give me Bennett Sturts and Drake, the Bulldogs. They get it done. I think they win it on the money line plus 6.5.
Let's go. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Pat Detective?
I mean, this is a classic March Madness game of styles. One wants to run, one wants to slow it down, And usually when that happens, I think the slower team wins the battle of the pace. I'm not saying about the game itself, but it's easier to slow someone down than Drake's not going to want to do whatever to run with Mizzou. Not that Mizzou can't play that way, but in their defense is just so bad. Missouri's defense, and it got worse. And it got worse and worse. It just became a joke. So that way, just for styles, I'll take the points, obviously, with 6.5, and I'll definitely be sprinkling a little bit on the Drake.
Let's go. There we go. Next up, we jump on over to Lexington, Kentucky, where Utah State, Jared Calhoun, great first season, taking on Mick Cronin, houseless Cronin. UCLA laying 5.5. Man, this is an intriguing one to me.
Yeah.
This is a really intriguing one. I actually probably hesitated more on this game than a lot of the other ones. My first thought was UCLA minus the points, but then I thought, man, this UCLA team's pretty fucking inexperienced. But then I'm like, well, Calhoun's in year one at Utah State. They've been shitty towards the stretch. The final 10 games, I feel like they've been all over the place. I'm going to lay the 5.5 with UCLA. I think they win by 7 or 8, but this is going to be, I think it's going to be a close game for majority of the game. But give me the Bruins. Mick Cronin grew up not far from there.
Where is this game being played?
Lexington.
Lexington. Battle of Bob Huggins, assistant coaches here. We got Cronin versus Calhoun. You know me, man. I love Calhoun. I just think from a size and athleticism standpoint, they're at a disadvantage here. And I think UCLA has seen I don't know if they've seen really the Utah State zone that's kind of unique, but they play against the Oregon zone that year in and year out. So I trust a good coach like Mick Cronin to figure out a way to scheme some stuff up over a couple days. I'll lay the points with UCLA. They've been really good under Cronin in March because he's a really good coach. So I'll lay the points with UCLA to go on.
Bieniek.
Yeah, this was a tough game for me to handicap. Kind of going to retweet a lot of what you and Mac said here. I'll go UCLA, mainly because Utah State, I don't know if they're in the best form. Earlier in the season, if you would have asked me about this matchup, these two teams in January, I would have taken Utah State. But I think UCLA gets it done. Cocktail Napkins got it at -7.5. So let's go Bruins.
I agree with you about months ago when I did bet my Utah State future early early bird gets to worm.
Tough CLV there.
Yeah, terrible CLV. I got about -400. You can get them now at 120. I locked it in around 60. So, not the best usage of that, but I love this Utah State team. And then, of course, they fell off a cliff, and Colorado State became the team that I thought they were going to be. But I still like him here versus UCLA. I don't like this UCLA team. I don't care. Is Cronin going to bitch about now he has to go see the Churchill Downs as a tourist attraction? Where else does he have to travel and bitch and moan about? And saw the Statue of Liberty. Give me Utah State here outright. I don't even need the points.
Woo!
Come on.
Let's go, Bet Detective.
This coward UCLA team. I hate hearing them moan.
Love it. The Bet Detective all over Utah State and the money line.
Yeah.
Let's go. Next up, Omaha. Give me 2.
Utah. Give me 2.
There
in Providence, Rhode Island, taking on Slick Rick Pitino and the St. John's Red Storm. The Johnnies are laying 18.5 in fucking Rhode Island.
All I know is we're hard-working, tax-paying people like you, and we don't take shit from nobody. You got that, asshole?
What murder?
The fucking union that works for you.
I'm laying the 18.5 with Slick Rick. Get this Omaha trash can beating bullshit out of here. God damn it. All right. Look, Slick Rick's familiar with Providence. He knows the diners. He knows the waitresses.
Slick Rick knows all about Providence.
That joint that you're talking about. What's that joint
Foxy
again?
Lady. Of course
he knows all about
that.
the Foxy Lady. He's at home here. He's comfortable.
Absolutely.
All over the Johnnies.
This is what they
win
wanted.
By 26.
26.
Yeah. I don't think Omaha's any good. All right. Let's go. What are you doing here, Mac?
2 years ago, I called Princeton. Last year, I called Oakland. The Johnnies are a kind of team with no tournament experience. I know they have Pitino as their coach.
Yeah.
Could they throw out a game where they go like 3 for 27 from 3? They get tight. I'm on Omaha, and I think you sprinkle 15-1 on the money line with these senior stars.
You dirty dog.
The old Summit League. South Dakota State won the game before. North Dakota State's won the game before. Bang that trash can. Omaha money line, baby. Patino out round 1. Kansas to the Sweet 16.
You dirty dog, because yesterday we were talking about this. Neither one of us mentioned it. And going back and looking at it, I was like, you know what? Circling the 1 or 2 seed that's most prone to maybe a loss here.
Yep.
It's St. John's. And you hit on it like a little bit. They will 100% hit an offensive drought in the first half, and they could find themselves down at halftime. They've been a tremendous second half team, but I don't think you want to fuck with that with this roster because of the ability that, you know what? It could get tight. We saw them blow a 30-point lead to Baylor earlier this season. It can happen 100% in these type of situations. That was a MTE in the Bahamas or wherever the hell it was. I think Omaha, albeit they didn't win a lot of games, they were kind of a team that played to their competition in the non-conference. They hung tight with Akron, kept it within 10. They hung tight with UNLV. They hung tight with Minnesota. but then they lost outright to Southern Utah, lost outright to Alabama State, lost outright to Abilene Christian. I'm not painting like a game where I see Omaha winning this. I'm painting a game where I see Omaha losing by 10. I'll take the Mavericks here.
Rick Pitino, anytime he's had a team over 25 wins, has never lost in the first round. Or the
I love how you handpicked the over 25
wins.
Second.
Lost Morehead State.
Well, it's unfair to say that because Iona then would be the question. You know what I mean? Like they were going to lose in the first round. So
no, I was saying that one of his overachieving Louisville teams with Kenneth Farid on the other side, they lost that. I think they've overachieved because he's such a great coach. But this could be a sneaky spot off that Big East and doing everything.
Yeah,
I like that.
Dump the Gatorade big time. The entire
old
fan
trash
base.
can banging.
You
Look
sweep
ahead
the Big
to
East
Calipari.
regular season and tournament, and now you get a little bit of a hangover spot.
The only problem is Omaha's 268th in defense.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm not saying this is a good team. I just said they play to their competition. Also, I really love this St. John's team. I'm hoping they don't fall here. I think they win the game by like 10, like I said, and then I'll be backing them until they meet Texas Tech. So it's only like that one game, but whatever. I'm rooting for the Johnnies, but I gotta see it first.
Rick don't lose in the first round.
No.
All right.
And this team was not built by NIL money, of course, as he says. This
it was.
Sure. You got to know when you got to say the right things at the right time, right?
He said that
like,
with
give me some Jameson.
With that billionaire boosters right behind him with his heart full. No, he's right. Heart. Yeah, a lot of heart. I bought them that too. I bought them some hearts. They needed that. Get the fuck out of here. But I do think they beat the brakes off of Omaha here. I mean, I'm willing to lay 18, no problem. I mean, they're good. I mean, how do they even?
Trash cans.
Yeah, fuck them trash cans. They'd be better off shooting the ball into trash cans with this defense. St. John's. I mean, St. John's is just too strong for them. That's for sure. And like you're right, they can have shooting spells, but it won't matter with this lineup. Now, the next round, I do think St. John's is up right for an upset for sure. They're built for an upset, and they fill in that role that Ken Palm role of not being ranked preseason, being a 1-2. Yeah. I don't think one of those teams has ever made Elite Eight or something like the last 3 years. Sparty's the other one, by the way.
The other Ken Palm rule that they don't fit is they don't have a top 50 offense. So
yeah. So yeah, I'm ready to fade to St. John's, but not here. I think they continue this role, and and even if it is a tight game, 5, 8 points, 10 points, and then it's in that 3-minute span when they go on that run, it's just over with. And when they break it open, it's broken.
Oh yeah. Let's go, Johnnies. Folks, want to tell you the college basketball experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, time for some bonus Underdog Pick'em. Underdog Pick'em, you can play in any sport and win up to 100 times the amount of money you enter. I touched on this earlier. The play-in games. Matt Rogers. All right, Matt Rogers. I like lower than 17.5 points in that AU Mount St. Mary's game. And the other side of this, RJ Davis will get his higher than 15.5 points. I know San Diego State's a great defensive team, but I just think Davis knows this is the game for him. He will get higher than 15.5 points. It might be on a bad percentage, but it will happen. So take that. That's some of the edge you can find. Underdog Fantasy, I believe you can find an edge that you cannot find elsewhere. I know you were telling me that before.
I was.
So sign up, and when you do, sign up with our promo code TCESGPN and claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. It's bigger than college hoops too. They got college football, they got UFL, CFL, NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL. I mean, the NHL guys are killing it on their stuff there. Cannabis Capper's been writing a lot of great articles for best plays for college hoops. Shout out to Cannabis Capper. Check it all out, though. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Yes, SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. I've seen my uncle go into a few racetracks where, trust me, he wishes he had an Ed Boost card. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. And the best part is no credit checks. It's completely free. They're not going to know how big a pile of shit you are outside in the world. All right. So sign up for Edge Boost and enter our free $2,000 bracket contest at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket. Wow. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bracket. Get on over there. Edge Boost. All right, we are back, and we got a few games left.
We do.
UC San Diego, Michigan, Bieniek.
I wouldn't even call it a few. We've got quite a few. We got all of the NIT to go.
Yeah. And then this one right here.
Fire. This game is unbelievable.
Denver, Colorado, the Tritons of UC San Diego taking on Dusty May. Unbelievable. Just cutting down the net. Winning the Big Ten championship, the conference tournament championship in his first season at the helm there in Ann Arbor. Michigan is laying 2.5. I know it's chalky. Give me these Tritons. The only thing I worry about is the bigs, but I think the Tritons can. I like the fact that it's in Colorado. I think that's a break for them. And yeah, Michigan did it. I love the whole fact they cut down the nets. I feel like there's a psychological thing there of like, hey, we just won the Big Ten, and now you take on a San Diego team that is, I think, super underrated. So give me the Tritons to win this thing outright. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, and I mean, Michigan just won 3 straight as an underdog out in Indy. Outright, moneyline dogs, 3 straight days. Now they're laying points. Short number against UC San Diego. I think, yes, Michigan will be able to control the backboard, but UC San Diego is going to be able to turn them over. I know everybody turns Michigan over, so that's kind of beating the dead drum. But I also think they can make shots from all 5 positions, so they're going to be able to drag Golden and Wolf away from the rim. And the other thing is these dogs traditionally have been really good in Denver. So I think that this is another altitude underdog that's going to win outright. I'll take the Tritons to beat Michigan, who's overachieved and had a hell of a year, but Michigan's a team I profiled that I wanted to fade come March. So yeah, give me the Tritons, UC San Diego.
Bieniek, I know on these very airwaves, I think you said UC San Diego Final Four the other day, but then they drew Michigan. What happened? What are you doing here?
I said UCSD to the Final Four yesterday too. So
there we go.
Not thrilled about the matchup. That's for damn sure.
You shouldn't be. Bullshit.
So just going into the match, I think this is everybody's favorite game too. Like Colby mentioned, I listen to a lot of podcasts and they all kind of say the same thing as like, oh my God, this is the chalky upset of the week. But then you go and look at some public percentages, whether it be ESPN or Yahoo, and you look at which teams the public are taking on the money line to advance in their bracket. It's not UC San Diego. You're just listening to people that are, creating content or early. The public, the people that you shouldn't be tailing, is the ones that are running to the window the night before or the morning of. So UC San Diego does play a little bit of a zone. If you want to be on the Wolverine side on the against the chalky play, Michigan should be able to rebound it pretty dang well against that UC San Diego zone. In the Big Ten tournament, they out-rebounded, I think it was Maryland, 41-18. Ridiculous commitment to the glass by the Wolverines there. And that's to counteract the big turnover issue that they've had throughout the entire season. UC San Diego, the second best team in creating turnovers with that zone. I just think that it's going to be a little bit too much because, they have the shot making to turn this thing into a shootout. I don't necessarily think that Michigan wants that with the way that their offense has played. Even with the couple of wins that happened in Indy, a couple of them were rock fights and not pretty games. So I'm a big fan of Tate Jones and McGuy in that backcourt. I've been preaching to this audience about this Tritons team for a while. UC San Diego, I think they win it. The cocktail napkin agrees with me. Has the Tritons just plus 1.5 here in this spot. And also kind of leaning towards the not going to lean, but my pick on the total would be an under. I just think if there's one way that Michigan, if they're going to scout UC San Diego, you do not want to run with this team. So
there we go. A Michigan fan, even on the Tritons. Wow. What could go wrong? Bet Detective, what are you doing here?
Well, I'm also on the Tritons, and I don't care Like that was a good point about the people that are on it are the people you don't want to follow. The public doesn't know that UC San Diego is the best covering against the spread team all year long. Like,
I didn't even know that either.
Big Ten, yeah. And they were on
Michigan with the Big Ten. They're taking Michigan
exactly, and you know what I mean. And I wouldn't be crazy for it, but but UC San Diego I think is a slightly better team. I like them. They have men from all around the world on this squad. This Division II team a couple of years ago, like from Argentina, from Greece. Like these guys have lived lives out there. You know, they're not going to be rattled by anything. It all sets up perfectly with Michigan playing all those games and cutting down the nets in the Big Ten title. And they've been fraudulent all year. And they did in a good tip of the cap for rallying and winning that tournament. I think it sets up perfectly. And you know what? You're going to have a lot of common upsets when you're talking about March Madness. We're all looking at the same sheet. We're all looking at the same things. You know, like it's a common factor of these games that we all have to pick from. So the public's gonna be right, public's gonna be wrong. Doesn't matter. I'm taking UC San Diego outright, no doubt about it. And I have them going pretty far myself. Noah, I like this whole bracket. This whole side of the region is ripe for upsets.
You have them getting past Auburn?
Yeah, I have Auburn going down. I have Louisville beating Auburn. But yeah,
I will say that Michigan has kind of been that 2022 Providence team, a team that really struggled, to make a statement and get everybody's approval. A lot of people saying the team has been lucky. How many wins within 4 or less points this year? It's kind of a crazy record for Michigan. So if it's a tight game, I kind of, in a way, you have to like that. So
sure.
Michigan's going to win by 2. Take the points.
Yeah, they don't win by more than 4, right? Versus anybody. That's just the thing, no matter who it is.
A Vlad Golden tipping at the buzzer. Michigan wins by 1 or 2.
All right, yeah.
It's been 2 different teams. Like the non-con, they were blowing everybody out by 20. They were putting up 80 points a game, and in the Big Ten, it's just been totally different. So, all
right, well, give me the 2.5. Lay the money line with Michigan.
They have lacked the consistency all season long. A big reason for that has been Trey Donaldson. He was great.
We lost you, buddy. We lost you on the audio side of things.
There.
I still have you guys. Is it them, Mac?
Yeah.
I think it's
Mac
you guys.
Too. I don't know what happened.
I think it's you guys.
I don't know what the hell happened.
We're
back.
They're back. They're back now. It wasn't the soundboard. You guys went out.
You guys are back. We were here the entire time.
We're gonna have to let the audience. We're gonna have to let the audience figure that one out because from our end.
Yeah, we were talking fine.
Yeah,
no,
maybe not to the world, but to us, we were having a great conversation.
I was just saying the reason that Michigan was inconsistent all year, point guard play. Trey Donaldson, he's a big roller coaster this year or this week. Great week in Indy, but it's been inconsistency.
All right.
Final game on the slate for March Madness, the NCAA tournament right here. Wilmington, UNC Wilmington, the Seahawks taking on Texas Tech, the Red Raiders in Wichita, Kansas. Texas Tech is laying 15.5 points. You might even be able to get a 16 out there right now. Damn, that's a big number. Look, I'm kind of high on Texas Tech, and obviously Darian Williams and Chance McMillan. Game time decisions, Mac. Of course they are. They're playing this one. They got to be playing this one. I'll take the points at Wilmington. I think Texas Tech's going to win, but I think it's just Texas Tech by 10. Wilmington's, I think, got enough talent to stay within that number. Yeah. Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm with you, man. I think I'm going to take the points with Wilmington. They got senior guards. They got some shit to them when you watch them. They pass the eye test. I don't think they're going to be overwhelmed by the Texas Tech athletes and size. They went to the Fog earlier this year, and they lost by 18. But that kind of got blown open late. So a team, Takayo Siddle finally gets over the hump there. I think Tech wins by that 10 to 12 range. So I'll take the points. And I'm interested to see what they do with McMillan and Williams. I think they need to play a game and get their feet back under them and get going so that they're ready for this round of 32 game. You don't want to bring guys back for the round of 32 game, in my opinion.
No, I kind of agree with you, Mac. This Texas Tech team I've loved the entire year. A good reason for that is they've been missing players left and right throughout, and they still maintained track and are a 3 seed this season. But that first game, when you do plug in a starter or two back into the lineup, it's not necessarily as smooth. And you want to do that against one of these higher seeded teams in the first round. I think Texas Tech is good enough defensively. Grant McCasland, great defensive foundation as a coach. They're going to be able to get by this one, I think. But I don't love the fact that they're probably plugging in 2 players that have been hurt for quite some time lately. So I'll take Wilmington and the points, but Texas Tech wins this one comfortably.
Yeah, I think it's also fair to say sometimes I think when you play in your conference game and you know your conference opponent so well, like it when you step outside of that, sometimes it's interesting. Like you look at their non-con. I mean, this is a team that lost to St. Joe's. Yeah. Syracuse kept it within 5. DePaul kept it, somewhat. They lost to A&M. It's interesting. It's just an interesting. They do have some blowouts too.
The only mid-major they kind of flirted with disaster with was St. Joe's. Then they lost, but all the other mid-majors they kind of, pantsed them.
I still consider UCF a mid-major. UCF got them, but
they beat the shit out of them. I love it. That was random as hell.
Yeah. They can pound teams.
That detective.
I remember
4 points is beating the shit out of them. I like this Texas a lot. I think they're Elite 8 quality.
Yeah, they're nice. I remember them beaten by Arizona State by like 30 points, and they beat Colorado before that by like 16. Like that was like a couple of weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, they like Noto said, they are Elite 8 quality. They're a top team, but I think this number's pretty accurate. I'll take Texas Tech to go away with this. Stretch it out.
There we go. All right. Well, look, that is that part now. Oh, you thought we're out of here?
You thought you were through?
No. First, there's the NIT, the not in tournament. I know it's really hard to see that. Look, and,
even when I enlarge it, it's still hard to see.
Yeah. Well, I got slides in a second, so you can get the slides. But just so you know, right now the betting odds, which I did see this at FanDuel, SMU plus 350, Santa Clara plus 600, San Francisco plus 650, UC Irvine plus 800, George Mason plus 1,000, Stanford plus 1,100, Dayton plus 1,100, North Texas plus 1,300, St. Joe's, that St. Joe's team that beat Texas Tech plus 2,300, Bradley, the Braves plus 2,900, the Bonnies of St. Bonaventure plus 3,700, Arkansas State plus 3,700, Oklahoma State, the Cowboys plus 4,500, Loyola, Sister Jean plus 4,600, Damon Stoudemire and Georgia Tech plus 4,700, North Alabama plus 5,000, FAU plus 7,500, Middle Tennessee plus 8,500, UAB plus 9,500, Chattanooga plus 10,000, Northridge plus 11,000, St. Louis plus 11,000, Northern Iowa plus 12,000, Samford, the Bulldogs plus 14,000, Utah Valley plus 14,000, Northern Colorado and Jacksonville State at plus 15,000, Kent State at 18,000, Wichita State at plus 20,000, and Riverside at plus 25,000, Furman at plus 25,000, San Jose State plus 25,000 as well. And that is the field. Now, I will remind folks that the bracket, you do get home games until the Final Four, which is in Hinkle Fieldhouse. So it is kind of intriguing. I mean, SMU is the overall 1 seed on the left side of the bracket. Dayton's the 1 seed on the right side of the bracket. Well, I guess you have some other regions too. Irvine and San Francisco as the other 1 seeds. But I think that home element makes it. There's value there. Oh, is that okay? Bieniek, we have it available on DraftKings now. Shout out earlier. I don't think that was up, but shout out to DK for getting that up. Bet Detective.
Yep.
Any of those scream to you? Any of those futures? Jump.
I do like St. Joe's at 23-1. You said?
Yeah.
I like that number for St. Joe's. They're a hot team coming down the stretch there. They won coming into the conference tournament. They lost 7 out of 9. When they're hitting their threes, they're a problem. They can put you up with anyone. I actually thought they would have gave VCU a game if they got there. But at 23-1, now they'll have to play Santa Clara, which is not great. They're a great team, obviously, in the second round, but they play a home game. Then they have to go out there. With the NIT, you always have to worry about motivation, who's deflated, who wants to be there, and that's what it all comes down to. I think St. Joe's found their season on the second half, and they're going to want to be motivated. So at 23-1, I think they're a great stab. Another one you said at 29-1 was Bradley.
Yeah.
You got me. That jumps at you right away.
Yeah, they're great home atmosphere. They're hosting North Alabama, and then they would get, the winner of the George Mason Samford game.
So yeah, Bradley and St. Joe's are 2-1s, and I am the Delhi Llama, so I like good numbers. The Delhi roll here, and 29-1, 23-1. I'd much rather play that than any of the top tier teams there.
Let me throw one here. UAB plus 9,500. I think you look at that bracket. They're taking on your St. Joe's team, which I think is a tricky matchup in the first round. You get through that, you get Santa Clara or Riverside, which I think they're better than both of them. And then after that, you're saying, okay, what do we got on this side of the bracket? It could be Georgia Tech, could be Jacksonville State, could be Northern Iowa or UC Irvine.
Right.
Even if it's Irvine at Irvine, I think UAB is more athletic than Irvine, so that puts them in Hinkle Fieldhouse if they can get there, and then it's anyone's game in the Final Four. So I would take UAB. Mac, any of those jump out to you?
I was just thinking about this. I kind of like Santa Clara. I think that they've been solid all year, and they're good against these kind of quad two teams. So actually, to be honest, North Carolina would have been a great fit in this. This is like the battle of the quad two teams. They're 80.
Yeah.
Who needs a quad one win if you can have a quad two win? And I think the other one I'm going to take a stab on is I like the St. Joe's one too, but the other one I just had it up. Where'd it go? It was the North Texas Mean Green. They won it 2 years ago.
Ooh, yes.
And they're going to have some home games. So, yeah, give me North Texas.
And they play a style that's good for these kind of tournaments.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? They slow it down and that travels everywhere in this tournament.
Yeah. Bieniek, you got anything you're highlighting there?
A little chalky, but I do think one seeds typically win this thing. Give me Irvine. I think they're a team that really didn't get the respect that they deserve all season long. They're plus 800 to win the dang thing. I really like this Irvine team for a lot of the year. They've got a 7-footer named Ben Leuchten that could give a lot of teams problems just matchup wise. That's always going to play. And Miles Che wears number 77. He's always been a guy that's been going for my heart. So go.
There we go. UC Irvine, the Anteaters. You got to always have action on the Anteaters. Tomorrow, the NIT starts. Kent State is at St. Bonaventure. The Bonnies are laying 4.5. And I am actually going to take the points here with Kent State. I think Kent State's going to give them a game. Kent State probably disgusted with the way they last performed against Miami, Ohio. The Bonnies been a little tricky at home. Remember, Fran Dunphy got them there. Give me Kent State plus 4.5 in Bonaventure, New York. Mac, what are you doing here?
I think I'm on the Kent State side too. Side note, this was corrupt too, that Miami of Ohio did not get in over Kent. They beat them 3 times and they finished above Kent. How the fuck did Kent Miami of Ohio?
We even got he's got corrupt NIT plays.
Yeah.
The racist against the Redskins. I will not stand for discrimination against the Native Americans. I will stand with them.
Exactly. I agree.
Okay.
Kent State. Bieniek, what are you doing here?
For once this season, the cocktail napkin likes the Bonaventure, likes the Bonnies. So cocktail napkin's got this thing at -4. I'll take St. Bonaventure here. Come back to me for the total in a second. I'm running these numbers.
Bet detective?
Yeah, well, hopefully Woj can sell enough of his old Android phones to get some NIL money going here to take on Kent State. So, yeah, give me the Bonnies at home. Why not? I mean, I think that line's pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah.
Total's at 132.5 for what it's worth on the napkin there.
There we go. So take the under in that one. Jacksonville State taking on Georgia Tech and Atlanta. Damon Stoudemire and the Yellow Jackets laying 5.5. I'm all over Jacksonville State here. I just think this is a money line play. This is a plus 200 on the money line right here. Is Georgia Tech going to be motivated? How many people are even going to be at this game? Give me the Gamecocks, who played great all year. Like I said, I think this is a lock. Give me Jacksonville State plus the 5.5. I think you sprinkle that 200 on the money line. Mac, what are you doing here?
Oh, dude, absolutely. I mean, this is the classic motivational play.
Yep.
How motivated is Georgia Tech going to be to play in this thing? And Jack State, on the other hand, gets a shot at an ACC school. Ray Harper, veteran coach. Let's go. Gamecocks.
How many players does Georgia Tech have available for this game? They were dealing with injuries at the end of the year, a short bench. How many players have entered the portal already? That's going to be a big issue that we'll find out probably 20 minutes prior to the game. Yeah, I like the Gamecocks here too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bet Detective, you in on this?
No, you're trying to bully me into this play. My only concern about Jacksonville State is they did just lose the Conference USA championship game, so they have to get back up for that. Heartbreaking. So physically, it was a comeback too.
They need a Bill Self love letter.
They do need a Bill Self love letter. So you got they're a little drained. You have to get back up for this lesson, but this is an opportunity they'll want to say like Georgia Tech won't give a rat's ass about this game.
I will say, just to get into the NIT, pretty much 95% of these teams lost their last game.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, recently though, recently on Sunday or Saturday, I'm saying like that. Like
UAB, you're so close to the tournament. Like Georgia Tech wasn't that close to the tournament. Jack State had heartbreak.
Right. UAB, George Mason, Jacksonville State, they all lost conference championship games. UC Irvine lost on Saturday. Utah Valley lost on Saturday. Though, I mean, it's a quick turnaround. A lot of those teams, but like you said, you just got to see who's motivated. You learn pretty quickly who wants to be there and who doesn't. I will say that about the NIT. You can catch a team that's going to go on a run early on. Like that's like, oh, these guys want to make it to the Final Four. They want to save their season right here.
Yeah. So you're with us on Jack State.
USA, I thought was so good this year. I think they are going to make some noise in the NIT.
Okay.
You on Jack State then? Money? You buying into
this? Yeah, I'm on Jack State. Run. Play the music. Play
where's the Friends music?
Yeah, I'm
play
sorry.
whatever that fucking horn is. I don't know. But just
hey, that horn, that doesn't give us soup. So that's why we play that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. We got a quadruple lock on Jacksonville State. Next
and
up,
Hasty mentions Dorian already in the transfer portal, one of the freshmen on the team. He wasn't much of a contributor, but I mean, they're already ticking.
That is another great point. The portal's already opened up.
Oh yeah,
so you have to keep a good eye on that. Yeah, it is batshit crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, it was stupid.
It's
stupid.
Wild.
Yeah, we got an in-state battle here. Chattanooga, Middle Tennessee, and Murfreesboro. Middle Tennessee's laying 2.5. No one's been going to these fucking games. No one will continue to go to these games. The last time they played, Chattanooga won by 9 2 years ago. I'm going to jump back on that train. Chattanooga's the better team. I think they have more to play for. Give me the Mocs to get this thing out right. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I loved what Chattanooga did, winning the SoCon regular season. They just came up short, losing to Furman. I think they reset here. They've had a little bit more time off than Middle. Let's go Mocs. I think they win the game outright.
Bieniek?
I'm going back to the Conference USA. Give me Middle Tennessee here. I think this more fits their style of ball. I think this is going to be more of a low scoring game. Give me the Blue Raiders here, and I like the under.
Ooh, there we go on the under. There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
3 points shy. 154.5 is what it's sitting at. Bet Detective, what are you doing here?
For sure. Chattanooga was a team I was looking for. I was hoping they got into the tournament that I wanted to, that was going to be a dog. I was going to look to play that could do some damage. This tournament, not so much, but I'll I kind of see what Noah's talking about with Middle Tennessee. But I like this Chattanooga team I have all year. So I'll take them with the points. Why not?
Let's go. Next up, we got Wichita State heading to Stillwater, Oklahoma to take on. How about them Cowboys? Oklahoma State laying 3.5.
It's kind of
no one will be at this game, right?
But it's just fun that
nobody goes to their regular season game.
I know, but it's just fun. Like it's 2 regional teams playing here. OK State.
Yeah.
Hey, tragic magic. There were a shitload of fires in the Stillwater area this past weekend.
There's fires in this Stillwater area every fucking weekend there. It's goddamn, there's tumbleweeds flying through that goddamn hellhole. Are you kidding me? That kid combusting. They place combusting flames all the time.
Tumbleweeds flying.
Yeah, it's a way of life in that shit place, Oklahoma. Anyway, I love it. Good people. God bless them. They lean into it. They know who they are out there.
Tragic
magic with Stillwater. It's tragic living in Stillwater. They're always in a tragic magic.
I love Go Beavs. He goes, Noah was all serious and CJ's just roasting his ass.
I'm sorry. When hour 4 is when I open up the
I hear there's
material.
rumors on the internets.
The last hour is where TCE actually starts to get going.
I'm
on Wichita.
Yeah.
I'm on Wichita. Empty arena. I don't know what Oklahoma State's getting up for. They probably got some guys in the portal. Wichita, I think, still values this as a little bit of a rivalry game. Big brother. Give me the Shockers. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I think they're still playing for Paul Mills. I did like how Oklahoma State finished under Lutz in year one, but still, I'll take the points with the Shockers.
Yeah. Give me Wichita as well. Can you imagine Boone Pickens in this NIL era? I mean, good Lord.
Yeah.
He would have been
He wouldn't put up with this shit right now.
No, not at all. And he would have been having a day.
Bieniek, what are you doing here?
His name was still able to land on that new football stadium.
Yeah, of course. But if he could be
That's a
open
great
about
stadium.
it.
I've been to that stadium. Very, I highly recommend that stadium. You're really close to the field.
Yeah. That was how they designed it, right? Both Oklahoma State
it's unbelievable,
and Oregon
man.
State.
Yeah, it's a great stadium. What are you doing here, Bieniek?
Pokes, Tragic Magic, like I already said, but Cocktail Napkin likes this one maybe a little bit too much. So I'll go Pokes.
Magic NIT spot. You gotta
Tragic Magic NIT. It's tragic that they're invited.
Get up for the staffers.
Right. Which we forgot to mention earlier. Tragic Magic season for St. John's. Luke Carnesecca passing away.
All right, fair. Now that'll acknowledge for sure.
St. Louis.
Don't make fun of that a Tragic Magic spot.
No, I'm not. But I mean, we're talking about weather in Oklahoma for crying out loud. The disasters, the whole damn
if
region.
California gets to claim disaster and woe's me, that happens every year.
Woe is me.
The whole damn
Oklahoma.
fucking town burnt
You
down.
have to treat those Oklahomans the same way you treat the Californians in Hollywood.
Yeah. You're right. No, you're absolutely right.
I don't think the damage is on the same level, though, right? I mean, I thought the California.
I don't think it was
insane.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad.
Well,
the California, it seems like it happens every year now.
No, this one, dude. I lived here for 20 fucking years. You took out just a whole area.
I mean, what? A 3-story house in Oklahoma burns down. You buy another one for $500, and you move on with your guy.
And that gets taken out by a tornado a couple years later.
Move on with your life, and you fucking double down at the Indian Casino down the street. What are you talking about?
St. Louis is in Jonesboro taking on Ark State and the Red Wolves.
All right.
The defending champs. St. Louis.
Yes.
Newcomer.
They are defending champs.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
right.
on. I'll take that. What did Sean call him? A fat blob of mayo and Salt Frazier there.
Yeah, Salt
AKA
Frazier.
Salt Frazier. Give me the Billikens to score a win outright against Arkansas State. Mac, what are you doing here?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think Arkansas State's pissed off that they didn't win their league. I think St. Louis likes this tournament. They won it last year. They're defending their crown. They're just at a different university. Last year they were the Sycamores. Now they're the Billikens.
There we go. Bieniek?
I'm going to take the Billikens too. Not much analysis from me here. I think this is a great matchup, but I have trouble picking it. I'll take the points.
That's detective.
No, I like the Red Wolves here. I think they're going to fucking run them. I think I hate this Billikens team blows. First of all, and I know they are a defending championship. That was last year. That Magic. You start repeating an NIT. You're getting territory you don't want to be involved in. That's
kind of like listening to this show this long in. Right? It's just like, but we're the college basketball experience, and
nothing is over.
Right. I mean. Yeah, for sure.
You just don't turn it off.
And motivation is a problem, but I'm Arkansas State's clearly better.
I like the over after looking at the napkin too. 158. So
okay.
Plenty of points.
I don't care.
Next up, we got Northridge, Cal State Northridge, the Matadors. They're in Palo Alto. Speaking of,
I don't care.
Yeah.
Hippie Olympics. Doesn't matter who wins because they're all losers.
Stanford's laying 6.5. I'm on Northridge. Money line.
Yeah.
Money line is live here. Mac, what are you doing here?
Nah, I'll take Stanford. I like Kyle Smith, man. I think they're going to be motivated to play this shit. So, yeah. Give me Stanford in the trees to hug on here into the next round.
I feel like I'm breaking the show a little bit here. I think everyone's taking my deliriousness, my apathy, and things. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying the show. It's March Madness. Here we go. Day one. Let's go.
This is CJ's analysis of this game.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you how the goddamn score comes out. 2 points right there. There's your goddamn score. Again, cats crawling up trees. 5 times 5 is 25. Fuck this place! Fuck it!
What are you doing here, Brett Detective?
Well, Stanford.
Give it up for the exciting ones!
That's right. Give me Stanford.
Colby thought he fat fingered.
elbow hit that.
Yeah, he looked at. Whoa, what happened?
Yeah.
No, I meant to do the exciting whites for BYU, but so I'll do it with Stanford. Even though I actually like Northridge here. The 6.5 is a lot of fucking points.
I'm all over Northridge
Yeah,
here.
give me. I'll take the points with Northridge.
Bieniek?
I'm going Stanford with Mac for a lot of the same reasons.
Kyle Smith.
How many people will be at that game? Next up, Riverside is in Santa Clara. Mac, you've already tipped your hand. You're high on these Broncos. Laying the 6.5, or I mean, I don't know. You're high on them. Maybe you think Riverside can cover this. I actually wait. This line's 11.5. I'm way off. Wow. Lock Riverside. What the fuck is this number here? 11.5 with Santa Clara?
All
over.
Where are you saying that?
I wrote it wrong.
I'm looking at 6.5. This line's 11.
11.5.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what are we talking? I'm ready to smash Santa Clara.
Come on, these Highlanders. Great movie.
Herb Sendik's the king of these non-impactful tournaments. He wins. He blows these teams out in these meaningless games. Let's go.
Yeah, they would be a good 12 seed, Santa Clara. They're a good team.
Bieniek, what are you doing here?
I don't know how the morale is for Santa Clara. They had some expectations this year. They have an NBA prospect that might check out after the regular season's done. I like the points. I think this is a crazy number. So give me Riverside.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, Cocktail Napkins got it at 12.5. I'm disagreeing with that shit.
Whoa. You and a napkin are battling?
Yeah,
Play the music. Napkin and Noah are battling.
Santa Clara has been my team the entire year, but they're just so hard to get
Santa Clara is a great team, but I don't. Right. Who knows the motivation with that?
The evidence has been falsified. It's impossible. I never broke the law.
We're unloading the sound bites on this one.
That's all of them. We're good. We made it through.
Some kind of copyright strike.
Yeah, I paid for premium mid-show just to get more sound bites. I was out of them. They're like, I need one more. They're like, listen.
My team's on the floor.
My team is on the floor.
Yeah.
If I can change, you can change.
Folks, appreciate you rocking with us tomorrow night. We're live with the Friday slate of the NCAA tournament as well as the NIT action as well. Make sure you check out the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, Bet Detective.
Right.
That's a year-round podcast, no matter the sport, whether it's the Kentucky Derby, whether it's the Daytona 500, MLB, NHL, NBA, doesn't matter. He's covering it all. Check out the Bottom Line Bombs podcast.
Yeah, make sure you do, because I am not coming back to this fucking show tomorrow. That's for damn sure. I logged in my community service of 5.5 hours. Good luck, boys. I'll see you on the other side.
Yes, and make sure you check us out. We will be in Las Vegas. Come on out Wednesday. There's a pool party. There's free drinks. Everyone's going to be there. Make sure you give Noah Bieniek a follow on Twitter at NoahB77_ Moneyline Mac's on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. Check out the college baseball experience and college football experience and the FCS college football experience. And don't forget, next up, Sports Gambling Podcast. We're talking college basketball. More right there. So if you're watching on YouTube, just stay put. It's going to be redirected right to you. Sports Gambling Podcast. Don't forget Moneyline Mac also on VSiN tonight. We're in it. We're deep into this. Let's go. This is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.
My celling's off, so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down. They say the Lord watches over my sins. Over my head, watching hair as it thins. Over the ledge, and ain't letting me in. There's still regiments and relevance to letting me win. Win-win, lose or draw. You ain't prepared unless you all ready to lose it all. Losing a brawl? Yeah, that's a Friday day. Good friends know my Nina Hideaway. They came and went, but the riders stay. So it's like I won the lottery and can't be found until I resurface with the latest purchase. 33 and a third and 45 circles. You ain't got that shit. And I ain't 45 king. But on the beats, I've been doing my thing. I start the program and the doorbell ring. I gotta leave town to a place I can't be found. My celly's off, so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide